All right, welcome back to the NA versus EU showdown. This is week 2 for NA. We are getting ready to hop into our first game of the evening for NA. Here are our teams playing today. We have Group A versus Group B. If you're joining in for the first time, we are doing the NA versus EU showdown, where the top teams from NA and EU will kind of whittle it down into a top 16 teams, top 17 teams, so 9 from NA, 8 from EU. They will be fighting for $1,000 in the regular season, and then in the finals, they're going to be competing for a whopping $4,000, $2,000 going to the main team. They're the top team in first place. Every single day we have this competition, mostly Monday through Wednesday. For the month of June, we're going to be going through this map rotation, 5 matches, 3 on Erangel, 2 on Miramar. And again, here we are in game 1. I am Blitz5 here with my buddy, co-host and founder of Main Gaming, Stento. How's it going, buddy? We just finished EU about an hour and a half ago, and again, getting into the action for NA tonight.
Yeah, exciting day today, jumping back into the action for week 2 of EU. Some insane solo plays, some insane squad plays. A couple teams starting to separate themselves at the top, but there's a lot to play for regarding the top 4 money places, and of course the top 8 from EU moving on to the finals. Still very hotly contested. But enough about EU. It's time to check out the NA side of the leaderboard, which is topped by Affinity. We saw some impressive work led by Hobie and Zaloti, who are back in the lineup for them tonight. Closely contested in second place by the 7 Kings. Big names on that team: Quavo, Tacticals, Linkadox. You've heard of them before. You've seen them out here fragging. And in third place, the Console Killers came out to a very hot start in day 1 of the competition, holding the first spot after day 1. And they've shifted a few players around a couple times, so they're back in here, third place with 110 points. Vigorous, 109 points right on their heels. And rounding out our top 5 is Toxic NA with 96. Want to point out real quickly while we're looking at this leaderboard, the top 9 teams on this leaderboard are going to be heading to the finals. Real quickly before we do jump back over to the map, we'll take a look at some stats, the kill leaders and damage leaders. So there you have it, 2 on top, old friends on an old team, but now they're competing against each other. Kidzo and Quavo, 24 kills leading the way. CK Pixel, Toxic, Boatman, and AFI Zaloti close behind them as well. And there you go, the damage is up as well. Some familiar names: Hobie, Pixel, Kidzo, Droppa for Crazy Mob. We've seen him doing some insane plays for the Crazy Mob, so we'll keep a close eye on them as well. And there you go, Quavo again for the top 5. Blitz, the zone was from Lipovka down to Primorsk, and there you have it. We're starting NA the same way we started with EU. We're heading to Millie Base, baby.
Yeah, so we saw this zone
probably
twice. I think we saw this zone in EU, similar. Almost this exact zone for EU one time, and yeah, most likely heading towards military base. Obviously, a lot of water. Something I want to mention really quick about the leaderboards before we get into kind of where everybody dropped, and we'll get on the early game action. As we start week 2, all of the teams have now played 10 games so far, so we're kind of all the same even spot. Same as EU coming into today. And something I also wanted to mention really fast that I thought was kind of interesting, just looking at the scoreboard, was that for NA, we have 4 teams over 100. Right now, after EU played 15 games, they only have 5 teams over 100. So NA, the parity in NA right now is a little bit, the teams are a little bit closer together, when in EU, some of the top teams have really just passed everybody, and some of the other middle teams are kind of far behind. But again, yeah, we are focused on NA right now, trying to take a look at some drops. A team that we're always going to be watching here, fan favorite, is 187. They've been dropping. They always drop here in the apartments. And it's good to kind of get used to their name here, because this is where they're going to be landing, and they usually will contest any team that lands school, and they're pretty quick to get aggressive. So if you're looking for a team to root for, they're pretty fun to watch. Also, we're seeing the 7 Kings, who are in second place, but obviously a first place caliber team. Early rotation. Those are some of the things I'm noticing first, Stento, for game 1.
Yeah, and I want to keep a close eye on the first place team here. You see them in blue, team 4, AFI, having some shots right now at the 7 Kings as they pass by. AFI is primed up to have a big game here on the north side of this bridge. So they'll kind of be able to kind of camp that north side of the bridge. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but a really good spot to kind of wait and see if zone 2 is going to come to the north or shift down south. A lot of teams to keep an eye on here. Primorsk, Ascension Esports in a very interesting position. They'll have a probably free rotation with a boat if they do need it out of that Primorsk area. A nice package dropping kind of in the middle of nowhere on the south side of zone over there. So definitely keeping our eyes peeled. The Dub Hub and 187Zs getting a little close and personal in that school apartments area. But there's several teams that are just kind of trying to figure out exactly how they're going to make this rotation right now. Emergency airlifts, always appreciated on these military zones. But the interesting thing is here, Blitz, we're not necessarily going down south. This could really circle, again, kind of southeast or northwest towards Quarry. It's kind of up for grabs still.
Yeah, this one seems a little bit more north than the one we just saw in EU. Looks like the AE squad in Italian, Kathy and them, they're not wasting any time. They're going right across the water in the boat from Primorsk right now. Sometimes you'd see a team maybe wait, but I guess they just don't want to risk it. I mean, the odds are it's most likely going down, but dude, you never know. With Ferry Pier being here, this could easily be a Ferry Pier circle.
Yep, and I love Seven Kings taking that location. It gives you a few options for your rotation, whether that's the ferry itself or boats, or again, you're in a good spot if it does circle up to the north. Can you actually do me a favor and click over to the Seven Kings? I need to get a quick look at their roster. I'm seeing a new name on there.
We got Tacticals.
Are we seeing the return of Professor tonight?
No way. Professor.
Are we seeing Jakey coming out of retirement here?
Wow.
Back with his old, some of his old teammates here. I don't see Quavo in the lineup tonight. We've got Warhawk, Linkadox, and Tacticals alongside Professor.
Coming full circle here. Yeah,
you gotta love it. Definitely one of my favorite players to watch throughout his career, man. He loves to win, that man. So I'm glad to see him on a good team here. We'll see what he does tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely interesting character for sure. Super aggressive again, kind of that. A lot of the play style, they were doing that so far, so long ago. Some of the play styles that are done now, like some of the spots that people go to, the rotations that people make. A lot of great strategy.
Pioneer of the game, JD, that old professor, man. He's been doing it a while. We're seeing some nice shots out of Warhawk and Tacticals there for the Seven Kings. Eno trying to rotate through. Unfortunately, they're going to lose Linane and Fortier here to some great shots out of the gun of Warhawk. Yeah, unfortunate, trying to rotate through the wrong place at the wrong time was Eno. Seeing several teams kind of go early here, Blitz, in boats or on the ferry. Looks like the Toxic Lady Lasers, another one of the fan favorite squads here who started to get it rolling last week a little bit, rotating with their boat around the south side of the island there. So yeah, we've got a big spread throughout all the way up to Yasnaya. Teams like Main Gaming on Lipovka about to take a boat. Just a lot of different areas where these teams are moving from right now, and a lot of them have already gotten over to the island. A northern shift would be very interesting to see here. And right now, again, I want my eyes are on AFI here. They've got a nice 2-2 split on the north and south side of the bridge. As long as they don't get any sort of crash, I think they're going to be picking up some good kills here. And I've had my eyes on Hobie and Zalodi for that squad, as they were doing some really nice two-man work at the end of some of the games last week.
Yeah, the two-man of SI, I think they loaded in without a few players here, taking the first parachute. Also, we have to watch RMV is pulling up right onto Eno. 2 members left. They're going to lay low, but then the Vector shot rips one of them out of the car. It's Brands. They're going to keep moving. Are they just going to leave Brands here? The other 2 members of RMV are coming up. Now they might want to try to save Facer. They obviously don't know. It's just 2 men of Eno unless they were really watching the kill feed there earlier. They might. Yeah,
some clean shots out of Eno there. Unfortunate for RMV, just trying to pull up in this dip, perhaps wait out the phase 1 circle. But they're going to pay for it because Eno in a really good spot. Vector took down one, and I believe it was the other member on the other side there. Verbal gets the other kill. So they're both picking up one here. They did lose their 2 teammates early on, but not slowing them down on the kills.
Seven Kings, I think, realized that this is where the 2 members of Eno went to. So they're pulling up really close here. Leading the way is Tacticals. They're tapped in his perspective. Got a nice heady. Follows up with some body shots. There's Verbal's down. It's just Tokyo left. RMV now is probably alerted what's going on now. They need to decide if they're going to stick in or not, or back out, get to the vehicle and save face. I feel like you wouldn't expect someone to be in this spot. RMV did, so they probably got caught off guard. But if I were them, I would have just left this area. Too many ditches here. This is not a place you want to play day one, game one, to start off your series tonight.
Yeah, in Seven Kings, we know they're aggressive. So they're going to be looking for the other two members of RMV here, who actually just picked up a kill onto the final member of Eno there. So Dreams and Solus are going to leave this area. Try and relocate for now and see what happens with this phase 1 circle. And actually take a look back right where we were, Blitz. Someone else is kind of pushing onto the Seven Kings, if I'm not mistaken.
The Bloodhounds I think, just split their spot. It looks like they left Warhawk here, Stento. The Seven Kings, that is. They left Warhawk. He's hiding in the warehouses with an M249, which is the best gun to have if you're going to be by yourself. And now they're calling back in the squad, but they've gotten a pretty good split here already. This is Bloodhound Gang. They got people all over the place now.
Yeah, this is really interesting because the Seven Kings, who are all the way to the north, have information on this team. So the Bloodhounds might get totally caught off guard here. I don't think they have a location on Warhawk. I think they walked right by him, and Warhawk strikes at the right time. Linkadox and the boys are showing up right as Warhawk gets a knock, but Muerte is there for the trade. So unfortunately for the Seven Kings, the timing just wasn't right there, but now Linkadox and the rest of the boys are showing up. Link with an opening knock onto Freight. Bloodhounds are going to try to regroup here as the rest of the Seven Kings kind of show up. Prophet's checking out the angles. He can see through the building, not really picking up much of a sightline onto these members. Frags are out. The revive is also out. I think Freight is going to bleed out here, but Bloodhounds are up to 3 strong once again. So now a little bit of a 3-on-3 situation as Nox and Thirsts are being traded out here.
Yeah, this is great game 1 action, Stento. Love seeing this kind of stalemate at Ferry Pier. Wondering how they're going to rotate. How aggressive are they going to get here? Because, you know, this eventually could come back to Ferry Pier. They don't. It's not like they're in a rush. They're in zone. Looking to see Tacticals isn't with them. He's getting on the roof on the other side, Senta, so he's going to have a nice little viewpoint potentially. But Bloodhound looks like they're kind of backing off here, so there actually isn't a good third party for Tacticals or a good sideline or LOS for him to hit here. Why they've backed off, I'm going to take a quick look at the map. We just had the circle close in, Stento. It's left Primorsk, but Ferry Pier is still showing. Circle came up a little bit.
It's a very interesting circle. Almost definitely we're coming all the way south here, but it is going to allow for some late rotations, whether that's Ferry Pier or over the bridge. So again, AFI is in a really good position. TXC just to the south of them also in a good position. I also like where you're hovering above phase 9, just checking out the shoreline, keeping the rest of the boys tightly knit there. And look at this, Seven Kings starting to open up onto the Bloodhounds here. They got 2 knocks right as we snap back into their position, and now it's just Muerte for the Bloodhounds trying to deal with Linkadox, Tacticals, and Prof. Going to be a tall order here, trying to do a little bit of a 3v1 in the Ferry Pier. This is such a tough place to fight, Blitz.
Yeah, Tacticals did such a good job moving this way. I mean, of course, they got lucky that there's no other teams that moved into this area, so kind of had a free rotation, but Tacticals made that first move. Bloodhound kind of got surrounded, and when you get surrounded by a good team like this, it's hard to fight, and it's just Muerte left. He's in the upstairs. This is not an easy building to push, though, Stento. You can get some nades in from the top or into the second floor. I like this move from Linkadox. He's kind of peeking into this side here. Might be able, check this out, Stento. Not many of these buildings have this kind of access point that he just got. He's going to maybe be able to hop into the roof.
He's trying to figure out his way without breaking glass right now. He's at such an interesting spot. He just doesn't know if he can jump around onto the balcony, grab the roof, or sneak through maybe the small window that's already been broken here. But again, if he shoots through this glass or crouches through that glass, he's going to give himself away and kind of decides that the play that he wants isn't really there.
Maybe get on this roof here.
Bit. Yeah, they've got so many angles, so it's really interesting to see. I like to see Seven Kings just playing this a little bit more methodical.
Yeah, you don't want to lose somebody to a person in this building.
3-on-1. You got to make sure you're stacking if you do push. I think that Prof and Tacticals are getting a little impatient here considering a 2-man push. They've got some mollies and stuff in there. Linkadux has a nice angle from here as well. Muerte's back up on the roof, and the boys are starting to stack. It looks like second floor is a little bit clear. They know Muerte is on the roof now. He does have a stun in his hand here. Blitz could get interesting, but it looks like a nice 7 king stack here. He's jumping off the roof. Linkadox is gonna look for this kill. He finds it. I love that play from Muerte. Nothing he could do. A nice organized push from 7 Kings. They're gonna get up to 7 kills here in the first game. So off and running are the 7 King boys. And there you go. Even more southern shift for phase 3. It's time to head to the island.
Yeah.
For just about every team here. We got some swimmers. We got some people considering the bridge. Perhaps a ferry or 2, Blitz, maybe.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see why RMV went for this. Maybe they heard the fighting, I guess, and didn't want to run into 7 Kings, so they're swimming. Dreams is back, though, Sento, and 7 Kings are going this way, so I don't know if he's just covering for his teammates so he can get across the water. There is a boat here, but it looks like... I don't think that spawned there. Maybe they got it stuck, Stento, trying to back it up or something, because that does not look like that's where that spawns normally. And then they've also spotted Torch here. I just flipped to the wrong side. Torch just took a pickup, and they survived. They're going to get over, and now it's just going to be the 7 Kings and RMV that need to get across. So we'll check back in with them in a little bit. Look how many teams are on the east side here, Sento. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams. 2 teams on the shoreline, and Torch are going to make it in off the pickup to the coast here, kind of by Pride Rock. Is that what you call it, Sento, over here?
Yeah, I think it, Pride Rock. I call Pride Rock that, and the rock above prison. I think any big rock had just been called Pride Rock. I don't know where it came from. I don't know if anyone else calls it that, but that's what I've been going with recently. And Torch NA dropping in with an emergency airlift. So it's getting pretty crowded on this island here, Blitz. Lots of teams getting very close. Several teams strewn about the shoreline. Torch, AE, Toxic Lady Lasers. Main Gaming just kind of pulled up on the south side of zone, very close to some of these shoreline teams. Another thing to keep an eye out is CK, very close to the dub hub. Other than that, it's a lot of teams kind of working their way. I think we should maybe switch over to Hobie's position. He's holding out the 187Zs with the rest of his squad on this hill here. And 187Zs running out of time, using the bridge to their advantage. And I think AFI is fully aware that these guys are over here. Hobie seems to be on the prowl, so to speak. Hasn't really located anyone yet. Maybe just saw them on the south side there, but I don't think so. He's going to make sure he's getting up to a good spot, perhaps communicating to the rest of the squad. This is where your eyes need to be. 187's coming out from underneath the bridge still. Phase 3 touching up the phase 4.
He finally spotted him here.
Sting a little bit. Yeah, they've got some shots on him, and the 187Z's gonna be hard pressed to get out of this with all of Team Affinity's focus here. As you can see, the sight lines from a nice little map view there. AFI is just making sure that they don't get third party, checking their backside as well, because Team Toxic is close by. They need to make sure that nothing comes from the southeast side as the 187Zs continue their way here. Some good shots coming out of the guns. EMRs of Zolodi and the rest of the Affinity squad here. No knocks yet. That blue zone hurts though, Blitz. Supplies got to be running thin for Insane and the 187Z squad.
Yeah, I also just noticed that the 7 Kings are in the middle of the map, Sento, so they must have found a pickup somewhere. And but getting back on topic to what's happening here, AFI has 187 in a kill box right now, and you know they're screwed without a vehicle. It's so hard to cross where they're going right now, so it's taking a little while, but most likely 187 is going to go down to either the blue or AFI.
Yeah, and some nice shots out of the DMR of Hobie there. Put him to one shot, and blue took the kill. Savage is knocked, so I think it's just 2 members now actually up, Insane and Legend.
Legend's getting pretty close to Hobie, and he doesn't know he's that close to his right side here, Stento. Shouldn't cause any major problems. He's first aiding, so it's just going to miss the mark. But that could have been a potential for Hobie to go down. Frustrating for them, though, is they don't have any points yet.
Yeah, it's been a slower round than they would have hoped when they were on the bridge, I think. But there you go, Zolodi picking up 1 onto Legend there, and Insane still working his way off the the coastline here. We're seeing a bunch of kills break out on the kill feed, so I kind of want to take a look at the map blitz and see exactly what's going on. You can see all the different sight lines.
Look at so much fighting going on. We just saw PI. Most of the team get eliminated. It's just Notorious left versus TXC in front of them. That was quick. Obviously, with just one member left. That was going to be fairly quick. Toxic Lady Lovers. Lady Lasers?
Lady
Lasers, excuse me. I knew I said that wrong as soon as I said it. They just snuck into this compound center with Main Gaming here. 2 of them. The other 2 are still on the waterfront. This could be a good push for them, though. Make some noise on this side. Be a distraction. Have the other team come in from the other way.
Yeah, they're going to have good comps for their teammates. They've got Southern and Cerny sitting on the coast. And Jams and Crazy have worked their way into this compound right now. So a 4-man MG, 15 seconds till circles up, and Cerny from the coast.
This is great for them to move potentially. They got to get ready to get out of this building and make a move.
Looks like Crazy is starting to push out. So a great knock from Cerny, opening the door for Crazy and Jams to perhaps push onto this.
Close to the wall there.
Oh, and Cerny just got knocked by a third party across the way. MG's back up to 4 strong here. Now it's a 4v2 in this compound. Jams trading out respectively for Crazy and Celebrity going down. This is a close battle here. Jams unfortunately getting taken down by Bad Apple and a third party. Oh, excuse me. Afterburn actually takes down Ernster there. So Main Gaming gonna have to regroup here on the coast here. They've got 30 seconds while the rest of the Toxic Lady Lasers are starting to push in from the coast splits. They've gotten the res onto Cerny, and there you go. Bad Apple was waiting for that push.
Yeah, this was kind of a misstep there by the Toxic Lady Lasers, because they had that knock. They were a little slow. Then the shots went through and hit the window, which is such a thing that we're used to happening in PUBG. It kind of gave away their position and gave MG time to regroup there.
Yeah, it was a nice snipe from Cerny to open the door. You would have liked to see Crazy and Jams get a little bit more aggressive, but they were always outnumbered there. So it was going to kind of be tough for them without maybe even a little more help. Even one snipe still leaves them outnumbered. So
good point.
They pushed in Jams and they did make a good try there, getting some trades out, but it was just too many Main Gaming members there. But down to 10 teams blitz, 9 teams as Insane finally gets taken out by AFI Light there. He was alive for a while there. Down to our final 9 teams, 32 players as we just ticked past the 21-minute mark.
Yeah, I wanted to tap into Seven Kings here, see if they lost anybody. They landed in this area. They took this little building that's actually pretty good. You can get on the roof here, and you have a pretty good push into the grandma's house up here, which is going to be pretty popular right now as CK holds here. Dub Hub is around the area. Same with Toxic. Wanted to mention that Turbot was one of the kill leaders why he played with CK, and then he played there was a round or 2 without CK, so we kind of wanted to notice that point out that he's back in the rotation today, which could be kind of the X factor for CK. They came out with a really strong lead, as Sento mentioned early on if you listen to the intro of the broadcast, and then kind of slowed down a little bit towards the end of week 1.
Yeah, that's a great point. That was something I noticed as well. Turbot was in the lineup for day 1. He wasn't in the lineup for day 2 for CK, and he was one of their top fraggers, as you can see, starting things out. Why don't we just tap into his perspective? Drops Albos with the barrel in his hand. He's looking for more. He's kind of playing a little bit of an anchor, while Bazaar and the rest of the squad are a little bit closer here. They see Main Gaming in the scopes. He's looking for Celebrity there. Not going to connect with anything quite yet, but there comes the spray. Putting him down to just about 1 shot there.
Not going to be able to get out.
I don't know either. It looked like a little bit of a prone stand-up situation, threw him up.
Yeah, I mean, Celebrity was so weak there. And even the SLR hit him a few times, didn't go down. The SLR, in recent years is not as strong as it used to be. CK with 5 kills.
Yeah, 5 kills on the board here. We're down to our final 7 teams, so went from 10 to 7 pretty quickly here. Wanted to note that Celebrity is alive over there for Main Gaming, just 1 up. As big fight breaking out over here. Blitz between Toxic and AFI. We've got a knock on each squad here, but we're on board with Onyx right now.
Yeah, AFIers are leaders so far going into week 2, but they only have 1 member left. This is a 1v1 situation, so this is big for both teams. Toxic goes down, though, from the spray. The ace spray. We're seeing more aces, Stento. Yes, earlier today and now.
We didn't get over there quick enough. That looked like a triple kill from the ace of enemy. So really nice work from our first place team to stay alive there, pick up some good kills. And they're still alive in our top 6 teams. I think they're going to get back to 2 strong over there.
Yeah, Celebrity by himself in a tough spot. Zone's about to move in and slow, but he's going to get spotted by CK. What I want to wait for here, though, is what is Seven Kings going to do, because CK has to leave this ridge here, Stento. They're getting in a coop, so they're not going to have time to shoot at Celebrity. They're just focusing elsewhere. Let's follow them where they go, Stento. Celebrity, again, just one person coming in on the east side. They're going to take this little ridge here, park the car to maybe block some shots from P9. Runs into Turbot there, almost takes him out. Pixel needs to heal. Now the shots are coming in from the left side from Torch.
Bodies his teammate a little bit, hops out prematurely, puts himself one shot. That was funny, but they're gonna find a nice little plateau there to kind of hang out by their cars. The only real threat is the Seven Kings and AFI, who seem to be sneaking up on the back side of CK. If you do keep an eye on that, we're seeing long range shots from Torch kind of graze over the top of a few different teams here. They see the MG solo. There you go. Taking down Main Gaming out in 6th place. So now we're down again to our final 5 teams here, and we're about to see Enemy and Hobie. I want to see their perspective blitz. They're sneaking in behind CK right now, and they've got long range shots all over them.
So they spotted him laying down. Ranger's the first one to go. Double spray. Hobie gets both of them, I think. Did he get all 3?
A nade and a double spray out of Hobie. Impressive work. I was watching Enemy's perspective there for a second, but Hobie putting in the work. Unfortunately, he gets done in from the long range third party, I believe from Torch. I might have just missed that, but we're seeing more knocks from Torch onto P9 right now. This is really shaping up to be a big fight that Seven Kings can third party, I think, Blitz. So Torch is going to need to keep an eye on the east side. Right now, they're focused on the north side, trying to keep P9 contained into their compound, which is still in for now, but Zone is circling up. That's going to be just out on the edge now, maybe a little bit of that building here. So Torch in a really good spot, but they just need to make sure they don't spread themselves too thin here to the likes of Seven Kings and P9, both having decent angles on them here.
Yeah, I'm wondering about P9. This is going to be their push up this hill. They have a couple rocks and a couple trees to maybe fight towards Torch. The thing is, Torch is going to have to worry about both Seven Kings and P9. So they're going to have a lot to cover here. They might get overwhelmed by both sides. Tick is obviously down. I'm really curious as to what the Seven Kings are going to do. We're going to try to watch the Seven Kings and P9 simultaneously. Seven Kings obviously quicker to make this push. P9 should also be doing the same thing.
Linkadox has got the Groza in his hand, 3x strapped to it. Checks the door of the shack. Doesn't find anything, Blitz, but he's looking around. He knows there's a knock somewhere in that smoke, and he spots the other members higher up. Oh my gosh, that spray was foul.
Great spray there. He's got 2 nades. I'm wondering when the nades are going to come out, because there's a lot of smokes there. He's got the knock. This could be a good time to aim for the tree. He's got one. It might be a little short. Could re-knock Tick there.
Torch is scrambling a little bit here because of the deadly shots, long range from Linkadox, and now Tacticals lands a nade onto OH. So they've got 2 knocked here. Wiz and Tick trying to figure out how they can get these reses off here, but the angles starting to play a factor as Seven Kings being very aggressive here. They're going to get another knock from Tac onto Wiz, so now it's Tacticals on a full push here. Not scared of anything here, as they know that just one more knock to deal with. The shack is clear. Checking his left side as well, and there's nothing in the vicinity. The res is happening.
P9's
just
coming over the edge,
Stento,
too. Sorry to interrupt, but they're coming really close to the edge here. If Seven Kings don't notice it, they could get hit from the side.
Yeah, we're down to our final 3 teams. P9 must have wiped the solo for Affinity out in 4th place, and now we're down to a 2-man for Torch, a full 4-man for P9, and the 3-man for the Seven Kings. P9 is getting really aggressive, and it looks like they're going to fight Torch on this side, who wins a 1v1. Sean is gone. Precision has thirsted him out, and now Torch is actually up to 3 strong. I did not see that other res come out. It's a 3v3v3 now, Blitz.
Yeah, I think P9 might have misplayed this. Where, you know, the what happens will let us know if they're right or not, but I think they came in a little too strong here. It made Seven Kings back off. Now Bertie's stuck in a tough place. Gonna try to get this res off. It's gonna be hard.
Yeah, this scrap opened the door for Seven Kings to just walk in and clean up, and they're doing just that. Linkadox is on the backside now. He's got all sorts of angles with the Groza, and that's an easy win there. As you said, Phase 9 jumped in a little bit too deep and took the fight with Torch when they kind of needed to hope that those two continued to fight and try to third party it. But a very clean end there from the Seven Kings, picking up 13 kills and the win. P9, 4 kills in the second place, and Torch rounding out our top 3 in the game 1 with 6 kills and the third place splits.
Yeah, very nice. And again, 2 more top teams in 4th and 5th there with AFI and CK. So a lot of the top teams here in the top section. Want to welcome again everybody in tonight. We are doing the NA portion of week 2. This is NA's return back after last week. We have groups A versus B. That was just the end of game 1. And yeah, obviously it's a lot easier when we're casting Stento to call it stuff, but P9 just came in on a weird angle there, and I couldn't get the right words out. Sorry about that. But like, I just knew I'm like, this is not going to go well. And Torch got back up there. Pete, Seven Kings kind of backed off and were like, why are you guys coming in the middle of us? And then just kind of pounced on them from the side. I mean, I get it, because they probably seemed like it was a good time in third party, but watching it, you're like, this is not a great time to do this.
I'm laughing. Sorry. The chat just saw lady lovers, and I'm dying.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, I think Phase 9, we talked about it right at the end there, just jumped in a little bit too deep. They needed to kind of keep a nice 4-man spread, perhaps keep center zone with that spread, and just watch as those teams tried to, either fight or wrap away from each other. But there was just such mutual carnage going on between Seven Kings and Torch that Phase 9, wanted to jump all over that after they killed the solo out, but unfortunately favored one side, and Torch just put up a good fight on that side, which kind of broke them down. And with hindsight, you'd think that maybe they would have sat there with 4 deep, just kind of playing it a little more not passive, but a little more safe and keeping the angles and prioritizing zone in the W.
Yeah, for sure. It's always hard to make those decisions, though. And honestly, not throwing shade at EU, but this game was action-packed game 1. I mean, we had a lot of good games in EU, but this one was just, as soon as it started with Seven Kings at Ferry Pier, it was action nonstop. So I was really excited. I hope you guys will stick around for the rest of the games. If that is any indication of the rest of them, this should be a pretty good night. So we'll be back with game 2 in just a few minutes. All right, welcome back. We are headed back to Erangel for game 2. This is week 2 of the NA versus EU showdown. This is week 2 NA, excuse me. And we just had a great match there, ending on the military base. And we our flight path going from Severny all the way down to the military base again. So there is a small chance that we could have the circle go back that way. Before we get into game 2, do want to show off the scoreboard again. It's not going to be updated for that last match, but kind of just want to talk a little bit more about what we're going to be looking in today's action. Obviously, some of the top teams are going to be pretty happy where they're at. Again, the top 8 are going to be moving on into the finals. So really where I like spending a lot of my time is looking kind of in the bottom section of the teams. I also like looking at who's in 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, the bottom of that left side of the list, because those teams are going to be really close to the edge right now. That's Torch, the Dub Hub, Ascension Esports, Bloodhounds. Look how many teams are in that 50-40 category right now. So strong. Results may vary. Main Gaming's at 38. So a lot of people can easily move in to the top there. And let's go back to the plane path and bring Sento in to talk about what's next here for this game.
Yeah, you mentioned it. There's a lot of PUBG left to be played in this regular season. So there's so many teams that are still vying out for those top 9 positions. A couple of teams, just like on the EU side, starting to kind of assert their dominance. Affinity, Seven Kings. But again, there is so many teams from the North American section that have already passed 100 points. So we're seeing a much more even top of the leaderboard on this North American section. And as we do take a look at the plane path from Severny right back down to military base, a lot of early drops here, Blitz, but this is a very interesting plane path for a number of reasons. It can go anywhere, all the way from north down to south of Severny, down to military base, and basically range anywhere on the map. So you're really going to want to be somewhere in the center of that plane path. But we know several teams like to drop early in Severny. We usually see teams going to military base. I'm taking a quick look at that right now. No one has gone down there. So if it does circle down there, Blitz, there isn't a single team on the island right now. But I love some of these hot drops that we've grown accustomed to. We know we can expect some fun out of the 187Zs. And they've got a couple of Dub Hub members always dropping spy, looking for cars, dropping in the school area. Already shots being traded out between those guys. So we'll keep a close eye on them, make sure they don't get too close. But scanning the rest of the map, nothing too imminent about to take place here. And there you have it. First circle heading up to the north.
Yeah, I'm seeing Jamie Jams might be under attack right now from the Bloodhound. We're trying to run her over and she gets taken out. One of the members of the Toxic Lady Lasers going out early here outside of shooting range. And the final run over comes down there.
Must have gotten beaten to that car or something trying to drop on it. I didn't see how it went down, but the rest of the Lady Lasers over in shooting range were trying to help out. Couldn't make it happen quick enough. So unfortunate for TLL. Losing the first member of the match in that shooting range area. They are in a really good spot. They're grouping up right now. Cerny is bringing a car over, and I think they're going to be able to hold shooting range for a decent amount of time here, Blitz. Other teams getting into really good position is Torch NA. That Crossroads compound is always a popular one. They just need to get the rest of their team over there, because I'm scared of a 4-man crash for them. And then the other teams are all south of this water extension from George Pool. So lots of rotations are going to have to come out of this first circle, because people are not going to want to be trapped on the wrong side of the water here by some sort of a gatekeep. So I think we will see lots of shifts happen here very soon, and we'll start to see the first zone get a little bit filled up towards the center.
Yeah, I'm really surprised with this drop from Torch and even TLL, because they kind of had one member go Severny. I know shooting range is more, I guess, central, but I'd much rather hold the tip of Severny than be in shooting range. And yeah, I'm just curious about this drop from Torch. I mean, this compound, I know sometimes I think one of these vehicles might be static, so maybe they just want to go here, but these compounds don't have a lot of loot. They're pretty kind of split out over here. So, maybe they just like this spot to rotate out of. It's just a very split drop for sure. I saw that earlier, but I thought it was maybe done on mistake. I think I saw that last week, and but now I'm realizing that I guess that's just their drop. And Eno here could be that team looking for that early rotation to crash those crossroads.
Yeah, definitely a good rotation out of them, grabbing a few extra vehicles. Maybe going to pull them into Granny's house. It's a good spot to be. It's just an interesting spot to be because people coming over the water, people to the north side, and that gas station to your west side, they all kind of have angles on this compound. So it's a good center spot to be with some hard cover. But oftentimes 4 deep there is kind of...
Yeah,
you're kind of limited to what you can do from that location.
Yeah, normally you want a teammate or two to be on the water at this wizard tower. I feel like potentially that compound, I feel like is one of those compounds that used to be really good, and now kind of people know how to play around it a little bit more, and it's an easy way to lose some tires on your vehicles because there's not too much cover, but they're going to try to make it work. We'll pay attention. 2 members of Torch are rotating to try and get to the other members, but they're going to run past TLL here. Will they have a shot? We're snapping in. Crazy has a view, but they got away pretty quick. This is that Wiz passing by pretty quickly there. They didn't have an angle from where they were standing. A couple teams rotating on the bottom side.
Yeah, narrowly escaping the toxic lady lasers there. And I want to note that they've pushed out a shooting range blitz and BH has pushed in. So I'm not sure if they've heard that, what they really know about that situation, but they're in a really interesting location on this hill using the shack. Sierne keeping an eye on the low side. Crossroads compound. So now there is a lot to keep an eye on between shooting range and that compound down to the northeast. So lots going on here. And the lady lasers maybe wishing that they stayed into shooting range, but I do love the confidence moving out, looking for some kills. Hey, Blitz, there's a knock onto one of our first place team, 7 Kings, with a grenade. I don't know where it's happening, but we're going to have to quickly
on rotation outside of
it.
Georgia Pole here, east of Georgia Pole. Linkadox got caught in the open. They smoked him really quick. AE pulled up. AE, very good team as well. They've lost Kathy, Watches, and Italian. Studs for the team right now, all down. This is DD. Got to try to figure out how to play this. What do you do here, Stento? I mean, you're 1v3.
Well, I think he's trying to get an angle to confirm this kill, Blitz. The thing is, with Tacticals and Warhawk on the other side, you have to be careful with what you're peeking. They know he's over here. He's not gonna be able to get any of those reses. So it's how many? What's he trying to do? Is he trying to pick up some kills? What exactly can he do? There you go, a nice nade from Warhawk, pinpointed onto the tree. That was so
fast that they knew he was there.
Yeah. So a little bit of mutual destruction, but the 7 Kings are going to be able to get back to 3 strong here. We are seeing a fight break out. I think that never mind. BH has pushed up and taken out the toxic lady lasers in 15th place.
Oh, wow.
We weren't able to get there in time. But another thing I want to point out on your map is that CK has just taken a nice little 2-2 split in center zone. One of our top teams that we will be keeping an eye on. They've got one of their top fraggers, Turbot, back in the lineup tonight. And again, I like that little 2-2 split that they've taken there.
Yeah, these 2 compounds are so strong when the circle goes this way. If it happens to go to the east, they're going to be set up for success.
They're going to need to be careful, though. Maybe a full 4-man crashing. It looks like an airdrop directly onto the warehouse blitz.
This is something that, might not be ready for. And actually, you can get on the roof of this building. It's kind of clutch if you do. People don't really expect it. And this whole team is landing its PI here. They're going to get on the roof and on the ground. For some reason, we just flew across the other way. I'm going to tap back in. Notorious getting the first knock on Bazaar. Now they know what's happening. The rest of CK, I think, is pulling up. They were pretty quick to react. Turbot's on his way first, but might have to push off the compound. Just lost half his health. He's going to be posted up at the shack.
Yeah, they've got Ranger Jr. in the warehouse still. I'm not sure what PI knows about that. They're going to go look for that thirst onto Bazaar. Confirm that real quick. The rest of CK, Pixel, and Turbot have pulled up. Ranger Jr. starting to go to work in the warehouse here. We might need to tap into his perspective. He's dropped a nap time, and he's rotated out. He's got his teammates there with him now. So it's a much different situation now, a 3-on-3. Pixel's gotten knocked by Notorious. So now it's up to Ranger Jr. and Turbot to make something happen. It's going to have to happen quick. Notorious wrapping out the backside as well. Ranger Jr. pops inside, gets another knock. He's looking for a thirst. He heard Whizbang coming in the front door. Lasers him as well. 180s and tries to get Notorious. Turbot is going to need to get here quick. It's 1 member each for each squad. And it's a little bit of a one-on-one situation here. Blitz, Turbot versus Notorious. He runs in. Notorious is one shot. He's gonna save that for PI. All 4 kills for the squad going to this man, Notorious.
Wow. So he ends up with the whole squad there. That was crazy because he's literally walking away with no health. Turbot has to be frustrated there because it looked like he was going down as well. And what's crazy is Turbot went into that fight with 70 health, and Notorious just got the first aid off, so he had 75. So if they both had 75, who knows, how that would have happened, or if someone was at 100, it would have just been a little bit different there. Very, very close fight.
Oh my gosh, that was unbelievable. I mean, Ranger Jr. was going huge. He's someone we've talked about in the past. Again, he was on a different team, I think, and now he's joined up with CK, and I think he got 3 knocks on the other team and just couldn't take down.
Yeah, very good player.
For the squad wipe of his own. But
what is happening? This is crazy. Sense. Look at this. Zach Baby's by himself. Sorry here. Just running past the Alamo building and didn't get shot at. For some reason, they didn't have any sight line this way. He's literally completely out in the open. You just think that if you would have this compound, you would have some, maybe be on the roof or on some different angles, but it looks like they're just kind of playing pretty tight here in the grandma's house. But yeah, Sento, sorry to cut you off a little bit there. That was just crazy by Ranger Jr. And this compound is just nuts. And, they would have had such a good sightline on a car coming in, and that lift completely changed the game there for PI to come in and get those points. And they lost a member, but they have to be stoked after that play.
Yeah, a nice little squad wipe. Never mad. I think he traded 4 kills for 1 member, dropping almost every time. So they're still going to be 3 strong in that compound. But if you do look at your map, Blitz,
circle kind of popped the other way, right?
Circle has popped pretty far to the southwest. Shooting range still very much involved. And that compound that Torch lands on that you don't like to loot is kind of centered up in the center there, that garage building and that 3 stack there. But right now, lots of teams trying to figure out how to get from the northeast side of this zone. And that's really where everyone is. They're going to be all kind of, everyone pulled up to the northeast side pretty quickly here. So it's where most of the action is going to take place. I would like also to point out that AFI on the other side, in that compound that so many people take, they're picking up a care package in the hands of Hobie. And they're really the only team on that side. So they're going to be pretty comfortable for a long time. But we're starting to see it get a little bit more crowded in the center zone. BH, 7 Kings, SI, lots of teams in very good spots. And a little bit of a stalemate here between the 187Zs, RMV, and Torch. They're all in good positions right now. But they are going to have to move eventually. So we'll keep an eye on those 3 squads as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think when I was tapped in on the care package, it was a Groza there going to Hobie. He was waiting for it, and then now he's finally rejoining the team. TXC took a late airdrop and made it to a compound that's outside of the zone. So it looks like they didn't want to get too risky this early on. There's still 13 teams up, 49 alive, with kind of approaching the 12-minute mark now. PI, the 3 members, kind of rotated around. They're looking for a spot. MG stole that spot, so MG might be going for more of a kind of edge play on this zone. Rozak is empty. Watertown is empty. This does look like it's going to go to the north side here. So if you're SI, you have to be pretty stoked. They have a big split though, which this is a lot of ground to cover. Again, this is just, to me, this is tough terrain to cover because look, Lob Riot's going up into this hill, which is one location a team could possibly hold the spot. You have this compound, the ridges in the compound behind, so just a lot of different areas to hold, but really no one else is contesting them quite yet. Dubhub might make their way into that area. We'll see.
Yeah, I love this view, Blitz, with the sight lines. You can see the lines chasing shots being traded out long range, in the Dubhub, 187Zs versus RMV there. So everyone's just kind of comfortable trading out long range shots. The name of the game is just preserve your armor, preserve your elements. These players love to lay down damage, man. So we're seeing lots of shots being traded out on the map. And there you go. One of the 187Zs getting knocked from long range. That's going to be Panda with the M24.
Ooh, they might lose Legend here because RMV might have a shot from the other angle. I'm going to quickly tap into their perspective because they're looking at 187 and they're also probably occasionally checking in on Torch right now in this dip. Not a lot of great soaps here. RMV, this is Solus, only has a 3 times for his SKS. So this team might not have all the equipment they want right now. Dreams has a 6 times, 4 times on the Mini, and 4 times on the M24. Okay, so they're just one person missing a long range scope. Some people like to play the 3x scope, preferably, but I feel like you would take a 4 or a 6 at this point in the game.
Yeah, Blitz, I want to bring your attention to the northeast side of zone. One of our Astro Listen in teams is in a little bit of a fight here. Actually, it might be fizzling out. They've just got a confirmation on WAG. It looks like the rest of P9 is going to dip out of there, but TXC was in a little bit of a skirmish here. They're going to be able to probably work their way into the edge of zone. If P9 held their ground, we would have had a good opportunity there, but looks like they're going to rotate out, try to get center zone, which they're kind of cruising. If you look on your map, they're cruising. No one's anywhere near them. They can take the plane. Lots of opportunities here. The only thing really waiting for them is center zone. 7 Kings, who look to be venturing out for a double care package, Blitz. So
yeah, this
heavy artillery going in the wrong hands here if they aren't met before they grab that. The rich get richer, so to speak, but lots of teams are comfortable here, but most of the action is about to break out on the east side of your map. So many teams need to rotate between Eno, Dub Hub, 187Zs, Main Gaming, Torch, RMV. All of these teams on your east, northeast side of map are out of zone.
Wow, so Linkadox getting the MK, Warhawk getting the I think they're going to be safe here, Stento. P9's not close enough. No one else is even in the area. So Warhawk's got a long journey back on foot, but they're going to have 2 care packages most likely, and that's not going to be great for the rest of the lobby. Their center, they got a great team, and they have 2 care packages with the gear included.
Lots of teams rotating right now. I'm actually watching Main Gaming. Ernster's kind of leading the way.
We see 3 of them here passing by Notorious. Ernster getting tagged up a little bit by that AUG, which is good on the 4x spray, which you have to watch out for. I like this, though. 4 members, 3 different vehicles. They're also got Bloodhound above them. Ernster gets tagged up pretty well there. He's down below 75% health. Meanwhile, Eno just popped off. MG cannot find a safe place right now. They're continue to kind of back in. They're above RMV. This is not going to be great, Senta, if RMV pulls up above. The throwables are already coming out at Acid Burn. They need to get the smokes down. They got 6. Here we go. Acid Burn knows. Smoke's got to get down. They also need to rotate if they can here, because one of the members of RMB is going to peek over that ridge on the right side. That's Brands. They've already lost Celebrity from RMV. I'm going to flip to their side, Stento, because they are the ones that need to push here. But now also 187Zs are fighting from the left side. This is actually slowing down RMV's push.
Yeah, Swag actually gets 2 bolty knocks onto RMV. Totally distracting this fight, and it's giving MG a little bit of a chance to get away. We've seen what Swag can do with that bolty a number of times. Takes down a 3rd one with the bolty. Please get into her perspective. One of the better bolty players I've ever had the pleasure of playing with, and she's looking for the squad wipe with a bolty right now. Oh, and Bad Apple takes her down for Main Gaming. This is turning into a multi-team fight between BH and 187Z's, RMV, and Main Gaming. Now, PI also getting involved here. So just an absolute mess on this northeast side of zone. And kills are going out in every which direction. Blitz right now still about to break out on this side of the zone here. Solus is pushing into a couple final members of MG on this edge here.
About trying to figure out where everybody is, Stento. So many things to catch up on. 187 got 2 of the reses. Let me know if you're watching where Solus at. 3 members of Main Gaming still up.
Yeah, they were Main Gaming just took out Solus there, of course, with a little help from the 187Zs up the hill there. So a lot was going on this side here, where almost all the teams are in the meanwhile, zone has shifted again to the west side. Blitz closer to that crash, that plane crash, almost extending towards the center now. And Toxic, Team Toxic in a really dominant position if you do take a quick peek at your map. But I think we're seeing a fight break out between Torch and PI on that northeast side. There's T-Locks with the first knock, and they're going to play the progressive left.
Gets a nice heady, but immediately going to go out to Whiz Bang. MG's got 2 up, but they're in the blue, Stento. They just couldn't find a place to go in this corner of the map. It was just so many teams were over here. It was so crowded.
And BH having a good round. They've already got 7 kills right now, and they've got Main Gaming up against a wall, literally still in blue. Using as much smoke as they can. Fabank here is going to back off Irek is on the corner as well, kind of helping. Bad Apple actually drops one. Irek is there for the trade. Not sure if this is going to be enough to kind of help main game and get off this edge here. It's just one member left. Irek trying to figure out if he can get the res onto for Bank here. Gonna do the old shoulder mechanism here. He's got Shadow covering for him.
Yeah, the circle's going slow enough, I think, for him to get in, and he does. So this is going to pay off. That was a little risky, but it did pay off. Ernster goes down. That's MG eliminated. 8 teams left, and we do have a few members, I thought, of 187 just below them that they have to worry about right now. Going to get kind of an aerial view again so we can see.
Wow, I didn't get over there in time, but a quick wipe of AFI, excuse me, from AFI onto SI. They're still 4 deep there. They've got a Groza in Hobie's hand. And as you just mentioned, now down to our final 7 teams. If you do once again take a look at your map, a couple teams in really dominant position. 7 Kings, AFI, and Team Toxic, all very confident in their location. Dubhub, I believe, going out in 7th place right there.
Wow, 7 Kings as you were going through that, hitting amazing DMR shots on Bloodhound, trying to run in, really just ruining their game. And then also 187 are going to have a hard time trying to get in with 7 Kings, kind of holding this area, and Warhawks holding the back side here as well. So the 187 squad won't even be able to rotate to the right or to the left. They're just going to get stuck in this valley. And then we're just watching AFI and TXC hold the rest of the zone, as Stento pointed out before. They have so much dominance on that west side, while 7 Kings just going to try to get some extra kills here. And then it's going to be probably a major 1v, like 3-team fight between TXC, 7 Kings, and AFI.
Yeah, I'm keeping a close eye on Team Toxic. Again, I feel like they've got the best position. They're kind of breaking into a little bit of a 2-2 split on the north side right now. But there's still a good amount that needs to kind of unfold here. Mainly PI versus BH on this northeast side. It's Shadow picking up the first knock onto Whizbang. Boatman on the other side of things steals the kill. And now it's PI returning fire. Notorious. He got a squad wipe earlier in this game, and he's not done yet. He drops Irek. Now all he needs to do is find Shadow, who a little bit lost of where to go here. He's got a broken vest. And some third parties, I believe, starting to play a little bit of a factor here. So gonna need to readjust Shadow, and he's got a 1v1 on this side. If he can find Notorious.
Got caught with the throwable out there, but it's a nasty shot taking out Notorious. I mean, I think he got hit there a little bit from TXC, but still there with 1 health remaining. Shadow survives, but I don't think he's going to be able to get too far here. 187's just ran into AFI. This could kind of spoil their game a little bit because they were 4 strong. Now Hobie's down. Did he get immediately flushed there? He did. So they're down to 3. And that was actually the closest member. The other 3 are a little bit further down this ridge.
Yeah, I keep bringing it up. Team Toxic just getting a more dominant split on this zone. They're one of our Astro A40 listening teams. We might want to try to get into their perspective and watch them close out this game. There's just a bunch of broken teams.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, I'm
interested to see how they're going to handle it.
I'm also really curious if they're going to get pushed from both 7 Kings and AFI. So we'll see. We're going to hop in right now. Let's take a listen.
Gotta be playing that back side of the hill.
Like 160 near green.
Yeah,
I'm so
we can't
bad.
see any of it.
They're just back there.
That's why the ghillie was fucking pushing up in the
I think we
open.
just stack up with them, bro. And
Yeah.
K7 should be pushing like AFI.
K7 is, they are. They were pushing out on the hill anyway.
There's gonna be one kid that makes it into their compound, and then their back hill. So where's AFI? Bottom of hill.
Yeah, they were on like green.
Somewhere green, orange, somewhere in
Killed
there.
the solo.
Alright, that BH,
Three
yeah,
man.
that BH solo is that. I'm coming back.
2 3-mans then. Right? Should be. 3-man AFI and 3-man K7.
I'm gonna get down quick. There's right of orange, running right of orange, peeking at me. He's at the tree, the first tree right of orange, the back tree on that ridge.
Yeah, I think we almost have to play low on this, bro. There's nothing we can play left. They're just gonna walk down over us, though.
How many 7s do you have?
You don't hit those, bro. I got 40 and a bolty. I can drop like 20.
Yeah.
I got
Here, stay with
230,
me,
I
bro.
can
Stay
drop
with me
some.
for a second. Because K7 knows this, bro. Like, they should know that we're gonna go that way. So we just sit here, bro, and if this kid comes this way, we just literally kill him. If not, we play late in with him.
Yeah.
There's one further right, one playing the UAS that's near The orange ping.
The Gilly 140 boat.
One of them just got knocked.
They're walking on it now, bro.
One of them just got knocked. I'm walking down from.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna play up to the shit check.
Go with them boat. I'm gonna play more like through mid.
Just keep overlooking. I'm gonna try to get directly underneath AFI.
Okay, there's one AFI is on green ping chilling.
They should play to
just
just
push back on
3-man
the
push
K7.
them, bro.
They're running back, bro. I
Running
just
back
watched the
where?
Gilly run back up to the hill, bro.
All right, well,
He ran.
yeah.
He was running back.
That's knock, bro. That's huge.
It's on green, knock.
Can't see him. It's too low for me. I see the Gillies top hill.
Nice.
Two of them.
Top hill?
Two
Yeah,
Gillies
yeah,
top
yeah.
hill.
Pain, so-
Seen him up above my green ping.
I want to peek him, bro, because he has
shit.
nom. Tactical's down there by himself.
I can't pick him anymore, bro. They're just both watching me. So
What, the Gillies?
I have no smoke. Yep.
Can you guys
Gillies
put,
up top.
you guys play the
Who's
Gilly
there?
AFI then?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's just on the
Yeah.
other side of the ridge with me.
okay, I can't see him.
I'm playing back to you.
I'll move up a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
on K7.
Planted a little bowl so that way K7 can hit me in the back.
Dead.
MK is trying
Just
to
let that kid up on blue.
What, are they all dead now?
They're all
AFI all
dead.
dead?
Yeah, 4v3.
He's coming to peak top hill.
Alright, come on.
180. Just look above.
At the
bro. They're all
tree
playing
up here.
high.
One on here. One on green ping. The other two up high.
I literally can't do anything right now, bro. I'm getting peeked by everybody. So
We just wait for Trembus and Onyx to make their wrap, and then we.
All right, Sento, I wanted to end this game with you because we got the final 3v3. We can kind of digest that after this ends as we pop back in with
4v3.
Stento. 4v3, yeah, good point. Excuse me. TXC still has all four up.
Yeah, the only thing that's standing out is the heavy artillery. I'm watching Linkadox right now, and he's playing such an important role, kind of holding the edge for Seven Kings, making sure that no one comes around this northeast side. There's heavy artillery on both sides, Blitz. As you can see, Tremis has a Groza. It just doesn't really stop. It's whoever takes 1 foot out of line here. And again, I want to point you to Linkadox. He's making a ridiculous flank right now.
Yeah,
He's
so
got the ghillie suit.
what's crazy
He's
is
got
in the
MK.
comms, Triple OG called out that he was going to hold this side, and then he decided to move in. Now he kind of left this side open, Stento. Some things
Things
are
are
happening
trying to come
here.
out.
He's going to get Triple OG, so now they've lost contain on this side. It's 2v2, Stento.
Yeah, Boat and Tremi need to overload this side and take down Tac, and then Lankadox is going to kind of be left out to dry. The sooner the better, but again, Tac Skills is not someone you can take a step out of line with. He's got a Groza in his own hands. There's tons of smoke on the ground here. Looks like Toxic is going to go for a res here. Tac maybe considering a nade or a res of his own. Linkadox is just a little bit too far to have too much of an impact on this fight. He did knock Triple OG, but now Team Toxic is back up to 3 strong.
Yeah, this really puts Tacticals in a tough spot right now. Linkadox is too far. This ridge is going to hurt them. They're going to kind of 3-push.
He just needs to get there at the right time. Linkadox is spraying that MK on auto. He doesn't land anything. He's got an absolute hog of a gun to back it up, though. He's going to go prone with the M249, maybe reload that MK and regroup a little bit. Warhawk has fully bled out. This is officially a 3v2 in favor of Toxic. And there you go, Linkadox from the side.
That was
with
really big
MK,
here. He's got to try to get off
arriving
this
just
tree.
on time. Everyone is weak, and
Linkadox
it's
clutching up
Linkadox.
for Tacticals right now. Without that, Tacticals would be down. Now he just needs to slow down, maybe get this first aid off. He's kind of ego picking here, though. It's really risky. And he comes down with the final kill with the Groza ahead. He ego peeking with 9 freaking health there. I shouldn't even say ego peek because that kind of, entails a little bit of a negative attitude, but it was a ballsy peak and kind of the necessary peak because zone was coming, Stento, and it, high risk, high reward play. You'll love to see it.
Back-to-back wins for Seven Kings. This time picking up 12 points. They came into today in second place, chasing Affinity, but they're going to make a big charge up the leaderboard here, probably taking over first place after those first 2 games here. TXC couldn't figure out the right angles there, in a big flank from Linkadox pays off in the end. They're coming in second place with 6 kills, and rounding out the top 3 is AFI with 5 kills.
Wow, Sento, that was crazy. I mean, the comms coming in there. So I love listening to, I don't know who is the IGL for TXC, but I love listening. I think it's OG, has just great comms, great planning. And he called it. They were kind of in a triangle situation. He kind of sent the team down one way. He's like, I'm going to hold this spot because so we don't get wrapped from this angle. He called everything, but then he just moved in a little early there on that zone and allowed Linkadox to get around, and that kind of opened it up. If he stayed back, it might have been okay, but it's so hard because you want to get in the zone. You don't want to get caught running. They also had, the MK over there. That's so dangerous to try to cross an open field with an MK or a Groza looking at you. So it's just crazy, the game strategy for PUBG. That's why we love the game. It's those moments right there. Perfect timing, going in with a listen, and then to me and you to follow it up. It was just perfect timing.
Yeah, and the main thing for me, as you know, I love care packages, but that really matters. Like, all of these players having 3 armor in Grozas and MKs and AWMs, that's a split second that you can get a knock. As you can see in the end there, Tacticals, I believe, peeking the tree was 1 shot, and all it takes is a quick second of a good red dot Groza spray. All head shots on Boatman, who had almost knocked Tac with some good spray of his own, and then he would have had a decent one-on-one with Linkadox there in the end. But some really good plays coming out of Seven Kings to just hold strong there, and give Linkadox a little bit of time to get that flank, and really have an effect on it. And he missed the first spray, but then he came back and got a couple of knocks. So Seven Kings back-to-back wins. But we're heading over to that dusty desert called Miramar, ladies and gentlemen. We got back-to-back games out there, and we'll be right back with match 3 in just a few moments.
Yeah, GG's everybody.
Oh, Blitz.
Let's go. Welcome to week 2 NA for our NA versus EU showdown. What's up, everybody? I'm Blitz5 with my co-host here and founder of Main Gaming, Stento. We've already had 2 really great games there at the end. That was really hype. We had a great listen in on TXC. You know, it's great that some teams are in the Discord, so we're able to do that. And a lot of people enjoy that in chat and stream. So hopefully you guys are enjoying all the entertainment. Really great action in NA right now. And we're about to head to the mix-up that we have here, Stento. What do you like to call this map? I mean, you trademarked it, so you should say it.
We're back at the dusty desert of Miramar, ladies and gentlemen, for match 3 of the evening. We'll be here for match 3 and match 4. It looks like we got a pretty fair plane path down from prison all the way up to Campo Militar. So a lot of these teams are going to have full range of the map. While we wait for this plane path to drop, we have 11 games updated on the NA leaderboard. So it might be a good time to pop right over to there to take a quick peek. For those of you who might be just joining us, we have 24 NA teams that are going to battle it out over the course of a 30-game regular season. What you are looking at is the regular season through 11 games right now. 7 Kings and Affinity on top with 137 and 129. Console Killers 118, Vigorous 109, and Team Toxic at 102. All over 100 points here. But it's important to note that the top 9 teams in this section are going to move on to the finals. So that is the most important thing to keep an eye on there. And tonight we have Group A versus Group B action. And again, we're dropping in on Miramar in match 3 of the evening. And URC teams are ready. They are jumping out, Blitz. And here we go. First round on Miramar of the night.
Yeah, another great plane path here from the prison island all the way to Campo Militar. Again, I would love to see those circles more often. I think Campo Militar is actually one of the coolest, most unique locations in the game. Actually, it has some structures there and stuff that are just so cool. I mean, this is kind of off topic, but how many places have these kind of buildings located everywhere? And just such a cool environment that when a circle goes up here, it's so hype. But obviously that is pretty rare, so we'll see what happens now. Torch is actually landing pretty far north right now. They've had some kind of interesting drops outside of the main areas as well. The Toxic Lady lasers went down to Los Higos. And the circle pops down south. We actually saw the same zone in EU, kind of like a copycat today for EU and NA zones.
Game 1 and Game 3 exactly the same. We called for the Los Higos earlier today, and here we go once again. But taking a quick look at your map, AFI in a really good spot in Chumacera, going to hopefully be able to catch tons of teams in rotation. And this is just one of those games, Blitz, where so many teams have such a long rotation that we'll have to keep a close eye on as they begin to make their move to zone. I think we're going to see a lot of emergency airdrops, but we're also going to see a lot of early action here with these teams that are just so far away from zone, having to make this rotation, and teams just drive by teams. That's how it goes on Miramar. So we'll keep a close eye on everything here, but I'm not seeing any immediate hot drops as I do take a scan of the map.
No, you know what I would love to see, Stento? So many times we see the rotations go all the way west down this highway on the left side of the screen, or someone will go all the way on the outside by Puerto Paraiso and drive all the way into the bottom. Sometimes we're seeing, 2 or 3 teams. What we saw in EU, everybody, was we saw a team up here. I think this was the Euro squad. They posted up right here and caught 2 teams coming down. They actually got, I think, 2 or 3 kills from teams doing these wide rotations. They really stayed here for as long as they could. So what would be an interesting tactic is to take a spot like this, have an emergency pickup, wait here and hide for a whole squad to come rolling through, even maybe you catch them in a clown car or something, then throw out the nades, put some fire down, maybe pick up a kill or 4, and then pick up to where you want to go. Same thing as you can have a team easily hiding right on this highway here for a team to rotate through, just completely shock them and then get out of there with a pickup. We haven't seen... Well, we did see a decent amount of pickups. I feel like last game, I should say, we did see some people flying here and there, and so far, I think more pickups in NA so far than in EU. We've only had a few games, so it seems like they're kind of adapting a little bit quicker, or maybe more willing to go for those plays.
Yeah, it's a great point. Miramar is such an interesting map, and I think more teams would benefit from making those choke points and kind of realizing where the plane path went, where the circle went, and what's going to be the most popular route for people to be moving into zone, because there's so many different highways that you're kind of forced to take here. Either that, or you're going to be going over the really rough terrain of these mountains and these dips and these ridges on Miramar. And it's so rough with some of the cars that you have here, the Murado especially. So again, you just got to keep a close eye on where these teams go. Try to figure out some patterns. And there's a lot of opportunity there to catch a team or two. We always catch them screaming down this highway again on the west side there, that highway that goes north to south on the west side. We always catch multiple teams rotating on that edge.
For sure,
from
yeah.
the ear down to the southern island of Prison. So there's just so many different opportunities, like you said. And while we do have a little bit of an early game lull here, that's just something we'll have to keep an eye on, is teams taking advantage of those opportunities.
Yeah, and so many spots like this right here at Church, this was a great spot forever, but now you'll see in comp play, most people don't even go down this street. It'd be pretty rare to see someone drive straight down this street. They usually cut off way early to the left or to the right over here. So, you know,
Let's
a lot of the...
chime into AFI's perspective. Sorry to interrupt you
No
there,
worries.
but AFI Light, and I don't know who he's got on his side here. It's Light and Enemy are getting really close. They're kind of just scouting the top of this hill. I don't think they have any idea RMV is in here. I was in Light's perspective for a while, and they didn't make any contact with these players here. So I think they're just trying to figure out if they can work their way into this compound.
Interesting for Jumar. Look at this kind of visual glitch here with this gun on the ground. Interesting spot to kind of be holding this like this. Like, I'm just surprised that he'd be there. I guess he's just literally waiting there in case a team shows up and he's got the roof spot. Or maybe he's glitched. I don't know. It must be a spectator glitch because he's looking all typo strange right now.
I think he pulled his back climbing up onto the roof, and now he's just...
Yeah, I guess so. Here is the rest of AFI making their way up.
Glitch. I don't know if he has the ability to actually play. That is so ridiculous. Yeah, as you mentioned, the rest of AFI pulling up onto the hill. One thing I want to point out about this fight is 3 members are in the compound. Solus is playing big time X Factor here on the low side of the rocks, just waiting for the cue from the rest of his squad to send him up to the hill. So AFI needs to be careful. If they focus too hard on this compound, Solus is going to have the right time to pounce here. I'm actually in his perspective here. I'm trying to listen.
It's weird. It's like AFI. It's kind of like they know, but they don't. And there's no way they could know that Solus is there.
I don't think he's moved at all since they got close. So there really is no way that they should know. And Hobie and Enemy just kind of looking around. No, they know. Wait a second.
Because Hobie
just looks right down the ridge. He doesn't trust it, but I don't actually think they know. And they need to be really careful here because Jumar is on the roof. RMV just got such difficult ridges here. It's Zalodi and AFI
they're gonna have to spot dreams here
that are making a really nice wrap here.
Zalodi. Hobie took out Brands inside the building. Zalodi just caught the guy in the roof, but then saw that Dreams was actually out in the open there.
Yeah, so AFI actually making RMV pay for this spread that they have, and now I'm tapping back over to Solus, who was down on the low side there, Blitz. He's wrapping way around, but I'm not sure he's going to have much of an effect on this now. He's coming behind Enemy right now as we're watching, but he's not going to get there in time. The rest of this fight is breaking out in the compound, and now Solus is just out on the hill, and one of his team members, there you go. All of the team members in this compound are now knocked, and AFI is 4 deep, and Solus is up on the hill alone. So what was a nice little flank setup that he had there, it just was totally mistimed, and Hobie and the boys pushing into this compound were quick with it in RMV again. If Solus was going to be able to have a factor on that, they needed to hold a little stronger in that compound and let him come from behind, but he never had the chance.
Yeah, this AFI just worked this ridge so well, and that's why I'm not a huge fan of this compound center. I mean, it's so hard to have any major sight line. I mean, it's great as a middle stopping point, but I feel like if you're here, you almost have to have someone on this ridge playing this top side. But it's so hard to cover that ground. And now the 7 Kings are below them. They're getting pretty aggressive or something. They don't need to be this aggressive to pull up on a team like this. They know FI is here. Warhawk's making noise in the vehicle. He might drive around Stento and kind of alert. Look, AFI's all moving to the east off
Yeah,
this
it's a total
noise.
bait play. It's a total bait play blitz, and I don't think Hobie has any idea Linkadox is sneaking up here. He's getting so close.
Yeah.
Linkadox definitely hears him. I'm in his perspective. He's pushing up aggressively
Tacticals
now.
has a great
Hobie
spot
has
too.
now heard him.
Tactical's
Some
in the
good
best
shots
place.
go down.
He got up top, gets Hobie first. Nice spray on the enemy. 2 down for AFI. This is big for the Seven Kings because AFI were actually in the lead starting off today, if I'm correct, Stento.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to be
Yeah, you're
stoked with
absolutely
these 2
correct.
kills.
Listen, I think they saw an opportunity here to kind of attack that other first place team. AFI again was in first place to start the day. Seven Kings have taken that over, and I think they heard AFI getting a scrap here and decided that they wanted to try to make a play, stunt some of AFI's scoreboard growth here. So
Yeah,
I
it's
love
really
that
smart
play from these guys. They're really rolling today.
Yeah, I wonder if
Even with
that's
the new
a
player, we got
professive
Prop.
move or what, because that sounds like something that he would do. Not only play smart, but also go after the enemies. A lot of times, I don't know if enough teams do that, Stento. Here, we're actually just seeing SI pull up on CK. Kind of across the map here. I just wanted to catch and see if we're going to see any action. CK is getting some shots down at SI. Might not be anything worth of note here, but wanted to make sure we weren't missing anything.
Yeah, I want to point out second phase has shifted here. Valdemar is just about center. All of that mountain area to the northeast of Valdemar is wide open. We got a couple of hot spots around Chumacera into like the southwest bend of Chumacera. And a couple edges way on the southeast. There's so many teams, Main Gaming, so many other teams on that edge pushing in. AE, Dubhub, CK, SI, all of these teams are on this one edge here. We're hopping on board with Toxic. We're doing a little bit of a drop situation. I didn't see
OG was already here. He got knocked, so now the whole team is dropping up here, and Precision is also trying to... I thought he was racing up here. Actually, it was just a visual glitch or visually misleading there. Excuse me. OG's safe by himself. Torches across the way. No shots fired yet.
Wow. They're going to be able to get that in spectacular fashion here.
Yeah, Onyx going to get some smokes and then maybe look for a DMR to... Got an 8 times SLR. Doesn't know where the shots are coming from. And yeah, because we were on board with some action there, we didn't really cover the circle too much. Stento said Valley Del Mar is centered up. City by the Sea, or Valley by the Sea, I think is the Spanish translation into that. And we got 2 teams so far, with a third, Dubhub, entering the bottom side of the map. This PI is kind of situated on this bridge, and so often, Stento, these zones, they come to Valle Del Mar in this circle, which these are amazing finishes, and we've been talking about it. We haven't seen too many city finishes at all in the tournament, something I've been hoping for, so this would be a great one. And these are epic because normally you have a team stuck on this zone, on the bridge still. The bridge will be in for a really long time. These kind of 3-4 stack buildings come into play. Usually this gets really exciting. I know this is early on. It might not even go this way, but this might end up being in that zone. So I'm kind of excited to see where this one plays out.
Yeah, we've got a good map view of everything right now. Some teams trying to work their way into the edge. Nothing too crazy about to happen. So I do want to take a moment to welcome people to the Main Gaming NA versus EU Showdown. And just explain how it works a little bit. We're currently obviously watching the North American section. We have 24 teams that are battling it out for the top 9 spots over a 30-game regular season. And here you go. These 24 teams are divided into 3 different groups of 8. And each night we're having a different setup of groups play each other. Tonight is Group A versus Group B. Tomorrow we'll be back in action with Group A versus Group C at the same time tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. We will also, if you didn't catch it earlier today, we will be back with our EU section at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And here are your 17 teams that are battling it out in the European section of our event for the top 8 spots. So once again, welcome everybody to the Main Gaming NA versus EU Showdown. I am one of your hosts, Stento. We are, of course, on the Blitz 5 and Friends channel and with our amazing co-host Blitz 5. So welcome everybody. Blitz, instantly got to get back to this action here. It's heating up. CK is sneaking up onto AE on the bottom right of your screen, and AE is shooting at some teams passing by, kind of giving away their locations, opening the door for this CK push.
Yeah, two good teams here. Haven't heard too much out of AE yet, and they're going to get caught from CK on this outside zone. They're both going to need to move here, so this needs to happen pretty quick as we're going to transition out of phase 3. Good shots coming down on Kathy, but DD ready to respond. Also watches flanking around from behind, but low health. I think he's getting third party from somewhere else. He does. Mrs. Kitty Meow coming with the sniper. Italian with the M249. We've seen him use the LMGs a lot. We've been seeing a lot more LMG play from a few different members out there, but definitely Italian likes to rock that a lot. Turbot goes down here. They have 0 kills so far. They're pushing in on Italian. Pixel almost
Nice
catches him in that window.
Yeah, a nice spray through the window does put one of the members up there weak. I'm not sure exactly if they're going to be able to get Turbot up. I'm trying to look from above. Nah, Turbot is in the blue. Circle has already passed both of these guys up. So now all 3 members of CK are confined to this house. It's just Italian here. He's going to get knocked and thirsted, and the rest of Ascension Esports, Kathy and DD have already moved to zone.
Yeah, DD's actually still a little bit in the blue. Looked like he was thinking about trying to third party this res coming off. But either way, Stento, this is not looking good. I'm not seeing any vehicles for this squad. And I don't know what AE's plan is to get out of here.
Up. I forgot it's phase 3. Unless it's phase 4, you can get a revive up here. And now DD is pushing over here, has got a car. The entire CK squad is up on their feet, but they are so far in the blue here, and they have a long way to go. We have circled all the way over to Valdemar, and to the north of Valdemar is centered up. And as you can see, several teams have already found their way into the city blitz. The 187Zs, PI, Dubhub, and SI all in that city right now, and we're seeing some knocks. It looks like Insane 187Z has got a knock onto one of the members of PI in here, and it looked like he was playing it aggressive, but now he's hanging out in this apartment as a package drop. So just going to take a little zoom out and check our map, figure out where exactly we need to be. I'm watching those final 2 members of Ascension Esports rotate around MG right now, as well as a member of RMV in that area trying to rotate around as well. So a lot happening on this kind of eastern, southeastern edge, and a lot of teams ending up in the city as well.
Yeah, and CK just found a vehicle, but they're so far from zone. We'll have to watch the kill feed as to what's going to happen here. Kathy just goes down. DD just on the edge. And Stento, this is insane. It actually leaves Valley Del Mar and goes north here.
Oh
really surprised to see it leave the city area. This is going to be really hectic. And
everyone is going to die in the city or on the way out of the city in the next couple of minutes, ladies and gentlemen. You need to pay attention to the kill feed. We have 50 alive with 17 minutes passing now, so it is not going to stop here. I think you're seeing CK just tossing the towel now as they start to laser each other. So unfortunate for them, getting caught in that fight on the edge of zone. BH starting to move into zone here. They're going to have a very dominant position here with all 4 members up. Only team that's really got a more dominant situation is probably Torch here. The Dub Hub also making some good plays to gain a little bit of real estate. I think they're going to force a solo of Torch. That's OH out of that situation, almost getting knocked as he leaves. Albos putting him down to, well, actually that's a knock there. I thought he escaped that, but Albos with some great shots gonna get that confirmed. So unfortunate for Torch losing one of their leaders here, OH. And what was another kind of like a crash situation. They were just biting off a little bit more than they could chew. And OH playing it smart, trying to run back to his squad, just doesn't make it back with some good shots from one of the Dub Hub members.
Yeah, it's so hard to spectate what's going on here because so many teams are moving in. This was really a sudden shift I don't think many people are expecting. P9's coming in on a parachute, so I kind of want to watch what's going to happen with them right now. They're being spotted from a few different areas.
Where are they going to drop here, Blitz? They're dropping like in the valley on the road, which for now it might be okay because there's not too many teams up above them, but they're going to need to figure out their next location. Shots are starting to come down from long range. I believe that's BH
Torch is right above them too, so this is not great. I'm in with Tick right now. There's a little bit of a ridge that they can get on, but they might be able to be seen from across the way from BH.
Yeah, and
Zone-
Torch starting to pick up some of those kills there. Mutezo goes down. The rest of P9 is starting to rotate away. Tick is still laying down some shots on those members that are rotating away on the south side of zone here.
Yeah, I actually kind of want to watch what's going to happen. Oh, we got some fighting with SI and Bloodhound. Muerta goes down. 2 members of SI still here with Shadow there. Also, simultaneously, we're going to see a fight out of Valley Del Mar that I kind of want to catch as well. This sometimes is a little bit of a stalemate. But we will try to see what Shadow's going to do. Nade comes in, Shadow's down. So we're going to move away because the teammates aren't there. 187 trying to cross the street with PI here. Whizbang goes down in the building. And it looks like 187 is going to get across. Maybe just losing swag. I think they'll be able to get swag up here and be 4 strong potentially if Legend get this first aid off.
Yeah, there is so much carnage going on right now all over the map. You're seeing the sight lines as we sit here on the map view, but trying to get over here to AFI's perspective. They're laying down some long range shots onto team 3. That's going to be a MG over there, kind of in a really tough spot.
Yeah, Zality, they're super high up right now.
Blitz. Another circle pulled a little more to the west, so City is fully out. Torch is in a really good spot. Dub Hub in a really good spot. The rest of these teams still working their way out of the city. Just so much mutual destruction happening in there, and it's just such an interesting zone. We got some mountains. We got a little bit of farmland with some trees here, so it's going to be a very interesting zone as all these teams force their way out, and they actually got swag up. I want to point that out. The 187Zs are up to 4 strong. I'm in their perspective. I think that's a really good spot to watch a 4-man come out of this city. We've kind of been bouncing all over the place because it's been tough to kind of figure out the right spot to be, but I like this spot, Blitz. This is a full 4-man. They got 3 kills already, and they've got all sorts of solos and duos coming out of the city here behind them, and they're not even in zone yet. So I love this perspective. We'll keep an eye on everything else, but I think this is a good spot to be right now.
Yeah, absolutely, Stento. We need to stick in with somebody here and see. And this is also a tough push for them. They got a few teams. It's hard to make it up this hill, but if they can, they could easily sneak underneath some of the top teams that have already been situated, Dub Hub or Torch, and make an impact on this game. 187Z are definitely looking to do that and get some extra points here. They're definitely really suspicious of this whole area. There's a lot of bushes to check here. They're getting closer, running into Notorious, who again, I think hit that squad wipe earlier in Erangel, so not someone to be, you know,
Blitz, they've ran by a snake. One of the toxic lady lasers is sneaking behind and runs into Legend. Southern for TLL wins the ones there, and she's got to keep running this way. The rest of the 187Zs now turning their attention to this direction, and the third parties are starting to happen. Swag found herself in a little bit of a one-on-one with Notorious for PI, and it's actually elbows up the hill. It's going to take her down, and Wag from another squad going to thirst it out. So all sorts of solos playing spoiler for a 4-man 187Zs here who are in full control of this situation, but lost track of a couple solos on the edge there. Maybe didn't clear every single bush as there is just so much cover here. And it's actually Tick from Torch that takes out the solo for PI. Down to our final 9 teams here, Blitz. So still a good amount of different teams competing for this finals of this match here. And we're seeing a big fight break out between AFI and Seven Kings up on the hill. It happened quick.
Yeah,
Seven
AFI
Kings,
only had a member
of AFI over there.
They only had 2 members left, so that did happen very quick. MG also fighting with the Bloodhound right now. Ernster, 2 up, Acid Burn and Ernster fighting for their lives. They're taking out the remaining members of Bloodhound, trying to get a res off quickly, but shots coming down quickly from Linkadox up top with the barrel.
Yeah, so they're going to get absolutely rained on from the top side here. Ernster doing a nice job to get a double kill there onto BH to clutch up for his squad. This res is going to need to happen soon. It looks like they got a little bit of a ridge to work with down here, Blitz, but they're going to need to be careful. Picking up 3 kills there is Main Gaming.
Yeah,
and Seven Kings are working their way down the hill onto the top this pretty quickly.
Yeah, Acid Burn couldn't get. They're going to get the res off on Ernster. Bad Apple goes down. Shots coming through the smoke. Circle's actually staying this way. We're going to tap into Linkadox. We just got a good view into this little shack.
Yeah,
No
nice jump
lethals.
onto the roof of the shack. Seven Kings continuing a really strong day today. They've already got 11 kills. The 187Zs go down to a combination of Dub Hub and Torch there on your kill feed. And long range tacticals picking up another knock onto one of the members of the Dub Hub. But the action's about to break out right here. Linkadox, Tacticals, in Warhawk for Seven Kings. A very strong 3-man. They've got Main Gaming hanging out on the low side of this.
Yeah, I think Linkadox here has no need to go forward. He's by himself, so it'd be pretty risky to push in there unless a third party comes in. Now he gets third partied, actually. He has to hop off the roof. Listening for comms right now. We're going to take a quick look at the map. Dub Hub in. Torch, a little bit of their compound in. P9 trying to make it in as well. The rest of Seven Kings in a really good spot, kind of overwatching. Ernst are getting really close to this ridge here. Linkadox is playing really, really, really slow. They definitely don't know he's here. Spotted by Acid Burn, but somehow comes back. Ernster's got an easy knock here, takes out Linkadox, and is probably going to go for a quick flush. But they just got killed quickly by the teammates of Linkadox. Really quick to respond there from that angle, and Tactical's now coming down to try and get that res. Couple first aid, care packages coming down, and right here, Sento Southern hiding behind the Dub Hub. We have 5 teams and 2 solos out of these 5 teams. Albo's just spotted this, excuse me, the straggler of Wag there. Tongue twister. And with Wag being eliminated, we are now in our final 4. Haven't really watched Torch in a little bit. I want to see what their angles are like from this situation, from this spot. They're kind of regrouping.
Yeah, they've been here forever, Blitz. They've been in a really good spot for a long time up on this hill. Able to pick up 6 kills in the meantime, so a decent round. But this is a very interesting ending. We've got 2 3-mans, a duo, and a solo now representing our final 4 teams. And this actually shifts pretty aggressively back to the Seven Kings. So might be in a position to clutch up 3 games in a row to start this day, and really start to separate them at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah, and this is smart. Precision's crossing the street right now, trying to wrap because he knows that Seven Kings are up there. He could play a major role right now in making a big move for Torch. Now he's going to start crouching and hopefully continue his way up here to make a move against the Seven Kings.
I love this perspective. The zone is really interesting. Almost no one on the map is in zone. A couple people hanging out on the edge. So once this actually circles up, we'll have to see a lot of these people relocate. We're going to see probably Southern for the Toxic Lady Lasers forced into the Dub Hub here. And again, I love this perspective from Precision here. Just trying to sneak up on these Seven Kings that are up on the hill here. But this circle was honestly really kind to this side of the road. We had a bunch of people, Bloodhounds, Main Gaming, and Seven Kings fighting over here for a while. Seven Kings coming out on top, and now they've just kind of got a dominant position. They're picking up some heavy artillery packages last second here, but Tacticals with the long range mini here, not picking up much damage right now. We're actually seeing Albos go in for a heal.
Looks like
13 big
Tacticals
kills already.
So Precision's going pretty slow. He's not even pushing up the hill anymore, which is kind of why I went off that view. But Tacticals is aware that someone could come from that angle, so we keep seeing him switch to the barrel and look that way. Right now, DMR trying to get some shots on the Dub Hub. Really would be a good time for Precision to move up with these shots coming. Maybe he doesn't want to get hit from the Dub Hub. I'm not sure what's going on here. We can see Southern on the corner of our screen at that tree. Little do they know that she's hiding out over there. She could get a sneak onto Linkadox or someone down the hill. Potentially. That's Torch getting the kill.
Wiz and Tick looking for the final member of the Dub Hub here. It's Cheech there, waiting for it. The Tick is ready for him. Got an AUG with the red dot on it. Makes it look smooth. Down to our final 3 teams. One is a solo blitz, and then we got a 3v3.
Yeah, Precision needs to keep moving up this hill and get into a spot because when they need him, they're gonna need him quickly.
Yep.
But maybe it's smart that he's being slow.
Yeah, he's just not giving himself up at all. So I really like this play from him. Linkadox has extended all the way to the other side. He's got a P90 in his hand. He's got Warhawk in his back pocket as well. Torch is pushing aggressively with the car into this location.
They pushed to get underneath. Very smart there to get across the road.
I like that play a lot. The solo has been eliminated, so now we have ourselves a 3v3, all sorts of care package guns. Warhawk just picked up an AWM, so this is just such an interesting dynamic. I think we need to get into Precision's perspective. This is definitely the biggest play of the game right now. They don't know he's up here, but Wiz is knocked on the low side. I'm not sure they're going to be able to get the res off. They are. They've got some smokes out. Lincolnox is pushing through. So Precision needs to push over the top now. They need help now.
He catches tacticals, but can't get the knock. Finally he does, though. He's down to 37 health. What is he going to do here? He's got 4 lethal Stentos. Now he's got to start throwing them every direction here to help out his team. But actually, it's just him left. It was too late, Stento. They started to push too quickly.
Yeah, and that res is actually coming off on the tacticals almost instantly. So Precision really going to have a tough time here unless it's a well-placed nade.
Could
here.
be. That looks good. Good angle. Doesn't come down. He's still got 2 more.
I thought he was going to get at least the one shot there, but this is a good flank around. He's got some decent ridges to work with. And what's funny is he's actually almost back into zone here. Warhawk and Seven Kings playing this very aggressive. They're trying to locate him. He's on the edge of zone.
Taking a little blue damage there. Did not help.
Yeah, not going to be able to do it now. Too succinct from the Seven Kings. And that's a big one, Blitz. 16 kills and the chicken dinner. They've been owning the show tonight.
Yeah, they've been extremely consistent through all the matches right now. Have they won all of the matches so far, Stento? Is that how it's gone? Or did another
3
team?
in a row for him tonight.
3 in a row, yeah, very consistent showing. And it's strange because they haven't been making that much noise all game except for this one. But again, strong showing for them. First place, Torch in second with 8 total kills. And then TLL sneaking their way into third place with 3 total kills. And rounding out the top 5 is DubHub and P9. And Stento there, as we say hello to everybody. Welcome in. This is week 2 of the NA portion of the NA versus the EU showdown. So welcome. I'm myself, Blitz5, and my co-host Stento over here. Very interesting situation, man. I think it's so hard. Again, I don't like to criticize too much because, you know, we're watching, we're spectating, we're flying around. We have every angle, we have all the information. But I feel like Precision had such a good play there that it would have been worth it for him to maybe go for a bigger risk reward play and kind of go a little earlier, try to make a little bit more noise there early on. Came in a little late and had 4 nades, only threw 2 of them. I feel like I don't like to go out with any nades in my pocket, but I do use a lot of nades, you know, but still a great effort from them though to come into second place. You know, that's great momentum for Torch.
Yeah. It's tough there because they made a good play to take the car over. I'm with you there. I wish we saw Precision make a little bit of an early play. I think he could have opened things up with his knock. I think if he just snuck up, he could have found someone probably not looking his direction. But it's really tough to know. I'm with you. It's very easy to criticize and say you should have done this and that from above. Yeah. Spectating. And again, me and you don't play at the level that these players play at, so it's much more intense there. Just from our perspective, we kind of just wish he ran up the hill and got involved a little bit earlier, especially with how it worked out on the low side. If he makes something happen and get some attention on that high side, they may be able to get a res on that low side or something, because all attention isn't on that knock and that res that's going on there. So again, a tough one there, but Seven Kings are rolling, man. They're 3 in a row tonight, so we'll have to we're going right back to Miramar. We'll see what happens in match 4, right?
Yeah, they'll wait to update the leaderboards when we come back. And yeah, honestly, you know, they're on a roll right now, so it's easier said than done to push the team that's playing the best, playing out of their minds right now. So it was a great effort from Torch and GG solo teams. We'll be right back and in just a few moments with Game 4, BRB. All right, so we are back on to Miramar. This is game 4, and we've had some exciting games today, but ultimately dominated by the Seven Kings, who have come out with 3 back-to-back victories, consecutive victories there on a turkey. And we are back for game 4 on Miramar. Plane path going from the prison all the way to Torre Amata, pretty close to the previous one we had. It was just going to Campo Militar. But again, this is the NA versus EU showdown. This is week 2 NA. I myself am Blitz5 here with my co-host and friend and also founder of Main Gaming, Stento. Anybody you're looking for game 4 to make some noise, Stento?
Honestly, I think the 187Zs, they haven't really done much today. We've seen them have such good runs of winning fights and picking up kills, but I haven't really seen them in any end game action today. I would love to see them get into a final game. Also, maybe right now as we're dropping in, look at this plane path, everybody. We're going from down at prison up to Torre Ahumada. So once again, this could I have a feeling we're coming down to this Chumasera area once again, but we'll have to wait and see. There's a lot of range for this drop here, Blitz, but while we're waiting to kind of decipher whether there's any hot drops or not, why don't we take a quick look at the leaderboard? We mentioned that tonight has kind of been a little bit of a dominant performance by the Seven Kings, but have a look at your leaderboard. That is through 12 games, so we're just missing the 13th game that we just watched on Miramar, but Seven Kings hanging out on top with 159. Close behind is Affinity with 139. Console Killers with 119. The main thing I want to bring some attention to with this leaderboard is the top 9. Torch right now hanging on to the 9th spot. And there's several teams that are just around 10 points or so out on the outside looking in. Winner Circle, the Dub Hub, Ascension Esports, and Main Gaming, all within 21 points ish of that spot. So one good game can jump you into the mix here, Blitz, and there's a lot of teams to keep an eye on.
Absolutely. And something to bring up as well is that not all of the teams are playing in the NA event. The NA event is broken down between 3 different groups. So there's certain teams like Vigorous that aren't even playing tonight. So we just have to keep that in mind if you're looking at the leaderboard and seeing teams like Vigorous drop down the leaderboards. That makes sense, again, because they're not playing right now. And a few things I noticed while we're dropping in, a couple teams really split on their drops right now into different kind of solo areas. We have MG, and they got pretty close to 187 here, at least Insane on outside of El Zarhar. And then below them, SI is pretty split up as well. This whole east side is kind of taken by just a few teams over here. And the circle did end up popping towards El Pozo. We did see a pretty rare circle all the way up kind of by Trailer Park over here west of Crater Field. It's not that rare, but hadn't seen it in a while. So we'll see if we get something like that over here or where this one will play out. Miramar's just, I keep saying it, but Miramar has been really great in the NA versus EU showdown so far.
Yeah, and it's funny. These Miramar circles always seem to just leave like 1 or 2 in zone for phase 1. Everyone else always has to rotate. And it seems like the hot drop was kind of end of this plane path here, where we're seeing most of these teams kind of bunched up in the northeast side of your map. Yeah, quick count, like almost 10 teams up in that area. So going to see a pretty crowded rotation from that side of the map back towards the El Pozo side of the map. But right now, doesn't look like really any hot drop splits.
No, nobody's been dropping on themselves at all. I think, again, because the tournament, normally in the weeklies, we would see this happen, in game 4 and game 5, people start to play more aggressive, but maybe not until next week for week 3 will we see teams start to get more aggressive if they're not exactly where they want to be. Again, this is a 3-week kind of qualification system. So this is week 2. So we'll be playing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday for NA, and only Monday and Tuesday for EU. So if you guys are, paying attention, having fun, first of all, thank you guys for being here. And second, make sure you guys tune in to see how this progresses. And obviously, it'll be very exciting in the playoffs and in the finals. Playoffs will be in the last week of June, and then the finals will be right before July 4th. So, these will be on the weekends, the finals, so people can hopefully be able to catch it outside of work and with other things going on. It should be a really exciting ending. Honestly, Sento, I'm pretty excited now. I wasn't really thinking about it week 1, but now as we get to know the teams more and things are kind of battling out, I'm really excited to eventually see these teams play against each other, the top teams from NA and EU. It's going to be really interesting to see it mix after they've been playing each other for so long. And right now, what's happening in front of us, we're seeing TXC pull up on Dubhub, but it's only 2 members from each team so far. I see Triple OG coming in with a parachute. He might kind of throw things for a mix. The rest of Dubhub is actually showing up from El Pozo in a vehicle. We're going to tap into OG spot because he's got the view from the roof. Catches Zach Baby, not enough to knock him, just getting down to half health. But he just took a little damage as well. And he gets knocked. He kept that peak just too long there, Stento.
Yeah, it looked like he actually registered a shot, but Wabaku was ready, peeking that orange car already, takes him down. And this makes it quite difficult now for TXC, who probably had the better location and the better control of this fight, with the rest of the dub hub kind of pulling up and arriving a little bit late. But it'll be interesting to see if TXC can dig this out. Right now, a couple angles from the outside not working out for Albos right now. And TXC basically have 2 in this compound. Boatman is on the outside, and Wabaku steps in. He's already gotten 1 knock. He looks for a second. He wants more, Blitz. He's already got some blood, and he wants more. He's looking for the 3rd.
Yeah, just going to get the reload here. I think he can pull this off. Brody goes down. Going to try to cover, but the insta flush comes up. Is this going to hurt?
That's a triple for
Onyx, it
Wabaku. He doesn't know where the 4th one is yet, but Dubhub in full control of this battle. It's Boatman. He's going to be arriving a little bit late in that car. Wabaku is waiting for him.
Good
Lays
shots.
down some decent damage, but he's already pretty weak himself.
Yeah, this is going to be, Triple G is going to be frustrated for sure that he got knocked there on top because he had contained from that angle. Zach Baby and Albos are trying to flank from the side. They need to put a little bit, I think they should be playing this a little bit more aggressive, Stento, stacking together and pushing this. Albos and Zach Baby could easily push this from the side and take a little pressure off of Wabaku here.
The thing is, Blitz is one of our kill leaders waiting on the other side. Boatman is more than capable of 3v1ing these guys before they even know what hit them. So I honestly think that's why this respect is being shown right now. I think they know the last player. I think Boatman legitimately deserves this amount of respect, and is being shown it for that reason. He's contained himself now to this blue building, which I think might hurt him in the long run. I liked it when he was on the back side. Nades are out now. Bowman's on the back side. It's not going to be enough. Albos takes him down, and a clean wipe there from the dub hub. Unfortunately, they do lose Brody in the process, but Wabaku leading the way for the dub hub boys there, picking up 3 of the kills. Final one going to Albos. And what was a good fight for a very important compound in this circle, Blitz.
Yeah, yeah, great point. Not only is it an important compound, but also, if I'm not mistaken, Team Toxic is pretty high in the leaderboards. We just got an update sent, so I'm going to quickly bounce over to the scoreboard because I want to take a look here. This is now through the previous 3 games, so Seven Kings getting closer to 200 points. But let's take a look at Toxic. They've just been eliminated, but now they're in 4th place, so they're happy. But for the Dub Hub here, they're in 11th, so they need all the points they can get. They just got 4 there, and now we're in a great compound, so this could be huge, helping them get back towards the top 8.
Yeah, and we were just talking about it. The finals is just I'm just like you. I'm starting to get really jacked up for it because there are some insane teams in both region, and when we reset and regroup and everyone has to potentially adjust their drops to compete with the opposing region, it's just going to bring a whole new dynamic, and I can't wait to see which of these teams that are shining for their own region are going to really step it up in the finals here, because usually it's different team splits. Usually we see a couple different teams that weren't necessarily standing out to us in the regular season kind of shine in the finals here. And I just wanted to point out on your kill feed there, 7 Kings have dropped onto the dub hub and just taken out Albos. And
oh wow, okay, we're gonna have to step back in. I caught PI coming in on the first lift of the day, I think, or maybe the second after part of Toxic there. And I'm not sure how to say this guy's name, but Tlaloc here, it's got to be maybe something backwards, landed right in front of the enemy teammate with his M249 now. Caught that guy completely off guard.
Yeah, I love seeing the M249 in competitive gameplay. What T-Locks? What are we calling this guy? I like the name, and again, this is a great gun to have in gameplay here. Eno, reduced to 3 people already. They're trying some grenades real quick. Gonna push back this PI member here, force a little bit of a boost, but a little bit of a stalemate battle here. Neither team really wants to leave their warehouse here, Blitz, and I don't know. I'm kind of watching from above. Notorious has a different angle from the other brick building, but unless someone opens things up with a knock here, I'm not sure what is going to spark this fight to push any further. Verbal, I want to point out, is kind of sitting there with the DBS, as you can see on your screen. We're going to try another stun or a grenade. I'm not sure. That's a great angle from Notorious there. Kind of the only teammate that is strafed away from his team. He's on the roof of this brick building, and he's got the bolty to go with it as well. So looks like considering backing off of this, but yeah, a slowly developing fight as neither of these teams really want to take this scrap early on in a city.
Yeah, it was a pretty ballsy move to push right towards this warehouse. I like that they got the brick building here. Naptime's kind of making a rotation. As you mentioned, Eno's also going south. They're kind of going to the bread box or meatloaf, depending on what your name for this building is. Try to rotate back. Is Eno just down to... Okay, I forgot they just have 3 now. If they get surrounded here, this could be bad for them ultimately, but it's going to be a while, I think, till any major moves happen. Check the map and see what else is kind of unfolding. So the circle actually went pretty far south here. Pozo was center almost in the previous circle. So now you see P9 and RMV and Torch are kind of fighting north of this zone. They're going to want to get out of there. Team's getting ready to respond. People have left Monte Nuevo. We saw AFI hold this spot last week with a crazy finish. Monte Nuevo is now open, though. AE in a really tough spot now, getting shot from multiple areas. I'm just going to quickly check their rotation. They're in a buggy right now. Lobright gets the double kill. We caught it just in time here. AE just seems to be struggling a little bit with their rotations today, Stento, unfortunately for them.
Yeah, in Blitz, I just saw P9 with an AWM. They got a knock onto one of the Torch members. Lots of teams in the upper left side there.
Yeah,
rotating through. RMV's also there. So just keep an eye on that on your map right now. But looking elsewhere, lots of other teams are already kind of centered up into great spots. CK187Zs, who are my team.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that.
I think I've got a pretty good track record for that. I think I called out a couple CK wins early in the season here.
Absolutely.
So we might need to keep a Stento watch on his pick of the match type of situation.
Yeah,
here, because the 187Zs are gearing up here. Look at that center zone. They got a nice little what's this mountain looking like? I'm going at, yeah, they got some nice, they're all on a huge mountain, Blitz. I didn't realize it was that type of a situation. That is an absolute peak to be able to play from.
Oh yeah, they're super high up here, and they have the always on parachutes now. It's not expecting to be that high up, but we'll see how that goes.
Neither. I had to pull out of the, you know how you pull out of the ground like from below. It took a while because I was actually in the mountain.
Yeah, we were deep in there. And Stento mentioned there's so many people north here. And we're seeing Jumar go down from RMV. Quick flush from Muerte here. There's some stragglers from Torch. Team 13 is also going to be driving down here. I'm going to pop into RMV's perspective because Dream's looking for maybe what else is going on over here with BH. He's got the barrel in hand. Gets hit from behind now. He's trying to push down. Needs his team to kind of come over and help him out as well. Solus tried to help, but got tagged up. Has to back up. Muerte actually just went over Dreams. They passed Dreams. Dreams is right underneath 2 players. He's got to make a move here. Takes down Shadow. Going to go for the immediate flush here. A little frustration coming out. Wants those dedicated points. Muerte here trying to push. Catches him with the barrel. And the insta flush comes down. That's 2 points for Dreams.
Dream's going to work here, playing that ridge, rotated around it to perfection there. And now we're tapping over to Brands, who has a knock and a thirst of his own. Irek is gone. And unfortunate for BH here, going down at the hands of RMV. It looks like a team is pushing up on it, as they often are. Excuse me, that's P9. sneaking up on this, looking to be a little advantageous. They heard the fight break out, but they're having trouble pushing over the top, I think because of some third-party shot splits. I saw a little bit of damage going down, so they're going to retract off of this hill and decide that's not the push for them.
Yeah, it's kind of a smart play. I feel like why even deal with that? You're not in zone at this point. The zone continues to kind of center up on itself. 187 was looking pretty close to center, but now CK is officially that center spot. Also, we have SI just crashed the brick compound here with the two remaining members of AE. This is a hard one to kind of cover because there's so many windows here to kind of throw in on. They cut one of the members downstairs. I think he had a shotgun. I don't know what he had there. It didn't look like a regular. Might have just been an AR. But...
Trades are going out. DD is going to get knocked and thirsted there. Unfortunately, same with Paulo Sam. So some mutual destruction going on, which seemed like SI could have taken a little more time and worked together there to kind of work through this one building. But now Kathy and one other teammate, DD, moving to hold quite strong here. That nade's gonna put Kathy down to 6 health. Time to rip a first aid. Thank God for the desk inside so that you don't burn your toes. That, oh my God, nade first aids. Oh my God, he gets up to 77 health with a little bit of boost there. Now that peaks are coming through, actually it's long range. Dub Hub starting to.
This is actually insane that Kathy is unkillable right now. The desk blocking so much damage. Another throwable in there. Finally goes down, but it takes out. Has to take out one of their members. His own
teammate. There's no other way to take Kathy down. What a hold in that house. But wow, unbelievable stuff there. GG's to AE. Unfortunately, the 2-man could not hold strong versus that 4-man of SI.
Yeah, that was insane there that they really needed to take themselves out to get Kathy out of that spot. That was pretty reckless, but fun little play there. You guys can see the circle. Phase 3 closing up right now. Dubhub kind of came back to their spot. You know, they got kicked out of here from the 7 Kings. Where are the 7 Kings? Are they? Okay, they're right in the middle here. Missed them right in front of my screen. They're kind of blending in. They're probably going to play slow because they're in a good spot. Don't
turn on coast mode.
Yeah, they don't need to do too much right now. They just got to stay alive. And Zach Baby here getting a care package. Let's see what it's going to be. This is the which is actually pretty good for Miramar. And look at that. We just got a quick crash. So I'm going to load back in. Give me 1 sec, guys. We'll put up the intermission screen here. We'll be back in just a minute. Care package causing crashes. That's okay. We've been there before. All right, and just like that, we're back. Shout out to the Xbox Series X. And honestly, as a PUBG console player, Sento, have we not been trained to handle any kind of crashing situation so calmly and coolly and collective? Because, you know, we've been through it all as PUBG console players, crashing out of so many matches and games and so on and so forth. But the action continues on.
Look at this angle, Blitz. It looks like Ranger Jr. just knocked one of MG, but they're got to turn their attention to the edge. Phase 9 is pushing up, and Celebrity gets taken down. Bad Apple does turn on to Blurtsy. They're trading out, and so does... actually, Bad Apple turns on 2 members there. So a good hold here, and now 187Z's from the side starting to play a little bit of a factor as well. You're seeing them pick up both kills onto MG and P9. So once again, my team to watch in a good spot here. Now they're jumping off. This is a great angle that we've tapped into. Turbot with the 8x on the SLR, watching this 187Z squad parachute off of the mountain that they were up there on. And Still some mutual destruction going on the north side between Main Gaming, FaZe 9, and it looks like CK has totally retracted back. Ranger Jr. regrouped with the rest of the squad here, but Pixel and the rest of CK now very interested trying to get involved here, but you do need to be careful up on these hills. The angles are going to start to increase as the circle shrinks. So as you can see, I was just warning them, Blitz. Ranger Jr. gets taken down out there. I'm not sure if he's in the comp. Yeah, he's out on top. So this is going to be a tall order with the 187Zs, with Main Gaming, with FaZe 9. All of these teams on this side of zone. Can they get this res up quick enough before it really costs them? And is this going to be enough to kind of pull them back down the hill? We're seeing Eno now come onto the west side of the map to join in. They lost Eno Linane early on in that fight in El Pozo that we saw, but they were able to back off, regroup, pick up a couple kills here now, and they're in a decent spot in zone. They've got a decent spread as well. If you do take a quick look at the map there, it just shifted, so now they're going to need to regroup onto one of their members there, but several teams now shifted out on the northwest side of zone.
Yeah, it's so many teams. You're right, exactly. It's just shifted out of this zone, so going to be a lot of death and destruction, as we always say on this side. We're 19 minutes in, almost 20 minutes in. In the next few minutes, we'll see a lot of these teams eliminated. I will say Bad Apple seems like it's been a pretty good pickup for MG. I mean, I know they only have 1 kill right now, but he made some good moves there, and we've seen him make some big plays. I think in one of the weeklies he had a nice squad wipe, and some of the Main Gaming roster has been switching out from time to time, and let's see what they can do here. Eno pops in right in front of Ernster, but they're not able to do anything. Tokyo with the double kill.
A nice
from
play
Eno.
by Tokyo. Kind of caught Ernster with his pants around his ankles with the mini in his hand there. Unable to catch the spam, and just a well-timed push there from Tokyo. Picks up a clean double kill. There's still one member up for P9 here. It's going to be Sean. 3 kills for this squad. He's going to have a tall order trying to work his way off this edge of zone with the 187Zs. Also pushing their way into zone. Maybe this is a good time to tap into their perspective here. They're trying to work their way through CK. They've got 2 kills here, and they're back up to 4 strong. Blitz. This is going to be a hard push for them, but I love this perspective. Let's see if they can make it happen.
Yeah, you said they kind of 187 just kind of catches themselves in some bad spots eventually, but a nice shot from Legend. Great call to get this perspective onto Turbot, and then trying to put some shots down to keep Pixel from peeking them through the door. Now that the rest of the team needs to push on this opportunity.
Some great spray out of Legend there, and Insane, as he often is getting super active on this. He's already across, he's already in the compound, and all focus was the other way, but a little bit of a mount on the wall is going to cost Insane his life there. Can the rest of the squad turn it around before the thirst comes out? Legend is also in there. It's going to need to happen quick here. Nades are going to come out though as well, Blitz. He's going to need to be careful.
Yeah, one of those situations where it might have been better trying to hop over, right, but might not have been enough clearance there. They get the kill on the Pixel. Was that the last member of CK? It was, but now
it took all 4 of them to get it done. CK holding strong, but there you go. 187Zs doing a really nice job to hold as a team there, and they need to be careful. A solo has snuck up to play, kind of spoiler here. Just to the south side of your screen, Blitz, you'll see Notorious. He is hanging out in the same shacks as them.
Wow, so close. And look at here. Legend had to pick up his teammate to get in. Notorious goes down to the zone. It's going to save 187. Little do they know. So close to getting spoiled there, and they're going to safely make it in. I wonder if they heard those footsteps or what, but super, super lucky for 187 there. And actually, what's also going to help is that Eno Tokyo getting taken out is going to allow them to kind of play this ridge a little bit easier, because they got third party.
Dude, my team to watch, Blitz.
I think they got a lucky rabbit's foot or something going on here, and for this game.
Oh my god! Yeah, we all know what it is. It's the Stento anti-curse, just giving them a little extra boost here. They're 4 deep in the corner of this building. I love that. We're seeing some knocks happen.
Yeah, and honestly, this could help. This could help 187 because Professor just went down. It's just Tacticals here by himself, and he's right outside center. Look to the left of Tacticals. He's not even looking that way. The whole 187Z squad is right there. If they were to come out of this building, they're going to see him. I think Legend might have just spotted him, and we caught it at the perfect time. I called it. They just peeked through the window. The 7 Kings, they've won 3 or 4 games in a row there, Stento, right? And then now they are 3 games in a row and taken out here.
Yeah, I think AFI has had enough, though. They're primed up with a 4-man still. They're picking up a decent amount of kills. They're actually only 3. I thought they might have had a little bit more there. But gosh, all eyes were on the 187Zs, which was a very difficult push, but they made it happen as a squad there. And they picked up a little bonus onto tacticals as AFI kind of provided a little bit of support. Now you see the 187Zs starting to fan out a little bit. They are going to have to run through this side of zone. AFI is basically on the edge of zone here. So a fight is going to happen on this side sooner or later here.
Yeah, it's really going to help if Dubhub or another team makes a move, but no one, I don't think really anyone's going to want to make a move because Dubhub and SI are still in zone. So this is really going to be up to Savage to make a really good play. I mean, not Savage, the 187Z squad as a whole, to kind of make a play here and push on to AFI. Savage is kind of leading the charge right there to the side when Swag and the other teams are, members are trying to rotate left.
Wow, some good spray from Enemy there with the ace. We've seen him rocking it all night. I guess that is his gun, and he's been proving why really quickly. They're going to try to get the res off on Insane here, who was the recipient of that ace spray. Savage, who you mentioned before, now playing an even bigger role than before in the compound, watching to see if any of AFI is really pushing across here. He sees the throwables kind of arcing overhead. He's just making sure that no push actually happens, and he's getting a little close here, Blitz. He's going to need to win a little bit of a 1v1 situation. Yeah,
this is really risky. I thought he was going to flank right, but he went to this rock instead. But if they don't know he's here and they pass him, this could be huge for the team. He just got spotted, though. An enemy is just so quick to respond there. Immediately gets the knock. Zaloti goes down, though, so there was a good trade coming in from Legend. Legend's going to need to follow up with a good stun or some good throwables here. Just that one, though, stun. That's it.
Unfortunately, as this broke out, the rest of the team, Swag and Insane, were met by a solo of Torch that kind of put the Insane out and Swag down to one shot. So what would have been a more interesting fight if the rest of the team was here. They unfortunately got spoilered a little bit by that Torch member who just went down to the two-man of Dubhub, who's been hanging out on the other side of the map for a long time. We saw Zach Baby get the AWM, and we saw them lose members early on. I think one to Toxic and one to K7 when they dropped out of the sky. But they do have 8 kills here. Wabaku has been racking them up in the meantime.
Yeah, and even though 187Z's in a tough spot, they did successfully make it to the top 4 Cento, so that's a big improvement for them, and they had a really good push, so good momentum to them. It's a little late in the evening. We're just gonna have one more game after this, but honestly, take anything at this point. Zach Baby, we're watching him with the line up on SI Panda, just grazes Panda's head, and that one was a little preemptively off there. Wabaku finds Swag, so they're out in 4th place, final 3 teams. It's a 2v2v4, and as you mentioned, AFI is kind of primed up here for a win. It really is going to really come down to Dubhub, because look,
the Dubhub's got a great spot in zone. These
SI
ridges are very playable, so they're just going to need to keep a close eye on SI and make sure that they keep AFI on that side of them. So, you know, if they can hold strong, Dubhub might be able to make this happen, and that would be a massive game if they were able to make that happen. They already have 9 kills, 7 at the hand of Wabaku, and again, they've got the AWM in hand. Down to our final 3 teams here, Blitz, but it's still kind of early. Phase 7 has a minute until we're going to circle up here.
Really,
so it's going to be very interesting to see.
If Dubhub wants to go for the win here, really their best bet would be to start wrapping behind AFI and let AFI try to shoot at SI, right? And then kind of push another angle. Because right now, Dubhub's going to stand here and AFI is just going to farm. They're going to farm free kills off SI. And most likely, I mean, Zach Baby has a chance to maybe get these, but I'm going to assume they're most likely going to go to AFI here. Potentially Zach Baby will get one, maybe with this nade. But honestly, that nade could almost be better used on AFI in front of them here, and I think now Zach Baby might be thinking about making this rotation.
I like the rotation. Dubhub now have got better zone than AFI. They're massively outnumbered, so they're going to need to win some 1v1s here quickly. First with Enemy, who's poking over the top of the AUG.
Zach Baby got caught with the throwable. Happens to the best of us. So unfortunate here. Wabaku's going to come in, try to pick this up. He does. So that's at least going to give him a point. Doesn't have to reload yet, so he at least tries to fend them off, but that damage Sentinel's going to be too much on this push now.
Wow,
he gets Obi. He's going to get a triple. Can he get the squad wipe here?
Oh my gosh. That was a silly play by Hobie to go for the thirst when there was only one member left, and Wabaku turned it into a almost squad wipe there. The final member for AFI, making sure that wasn't a little bit of an embarrassing moment there. But 9 kills for AFI. They're bouncing back heavy to make up that ground that K7, 7 Kings have put ahead of them. But a big game from DubHub there. 10 kills and a second place. Rounding out our top 3 is Shooter's Instinct with 5 kills.
Yeah, Shooter's Instinct got to be stoked about that. And same thing with 187Z coming in 4th place. That's very exciting. You know, anytime you make the top 4 here to get some extra points, and Torch in 5th place. And crazy ending. We almost saw another squad wipe Predator at the end of that game coming in, which would have been crazy. And Wabaku, you know, again, I say this all the time. PUBG is just anything is so based off momentum. He's playing well, so he probably knows that his shots are on. Felt a little bit better, and definitely
he was
so close there. Yeah,
he knew the first one was weak. He pushed over and handled it. And then the next one that showed himself was Hobie, and he was actively thirsting someone. So he dropped him really quickly, instantly peeked the next one and dropped him. And then almost, you could argue he started feeling himself too much, because he might have had the chance to heal there, or at least take it a little bit slower, but instantly re-challenged the last guy and paid for it. So a good job by AFI to hold strong and get that dub. But that was very fun to watch Wabaku absolutely feeling himself there. So hats off to both of those teams. The DubHub really did need to get it going. They're on the outside looking in. This is a veteran squad, just a big name we've seen in the community for a long time. So we expect them to see. We expect to see them in the finals, you know,
for sure.
And I think they're starting to get a little bit of momentum there. That's about 16 points to jump them up a little bit on the leaderboard. So we're getting the final match of the evening ready here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back on a wrangle with match 5 in just a few moments.
Yeah, BRB. All right, welcome to our 5th and final game of the NA part of the NA versus EU Showdown. This is week 2, and we are back to beautiful old Erangel here. Been a really exciting night. A lot of action. Again, we were here earlier on with the EU portion at 3 p.m. Eastern. That's, I think, around 7 or 8 p.m. GMT time that was on. And then back a few hours, quick break, and then back an hour later for the NA portion. We'll be here on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday night of this week, and also next week for the preliminary kind of qualifiers for this event, and then the playoffs at the end of the month along with the finals as well. A lot of exciting games today, as I mentioned before. This final one, plane path from the bottom side of the map all the way to the north here, west of Severny. I, again, am Blitz5 here with my co-host Stento. Anything you want to share today, or any winners you're feeling? Because you're pretty spot on lately with the last call with 187. They didn't win, but they came in the top 4, which is pretty good.
Oh God, who do we need to? Who's had a quiet evening tonight? I gotta take a quick look around. Maybe watch these teams drop right now, but this is a very interesting plane path. We're starting out in the water to the west side of Sosnovka and basically going straight north to south, just to the side of shooting range. So all of the east side of the map is basically going to be untouchable right now. And I'm going to be honest, I think we're going to see a strong finish from Affinity. We just saw them take the second Miramar of the day. And I think the Affinity boys have had enough. They saw K7 go 3 in a row, and they're not trying to go into the end, the second half of this week with too big of a gap in between them, because I think they're in separate groups. Correct me if I'm wrong. So there's going to be a moment here when they're kind of fighting fights without, the others in the lobby. So there's all sorts of opportunities to gain points when other top teams are not in the lobby. So that's an important aspect to this tournament. 24 teams. We've got 3 groups. Only 2 groups play each night. So that whole situation is going to be shifting around. Speaking of shifting around, first circle heading up to the north. I love this George Pool area. And honestly, Blitz, take a quick look at your map. I'm going to call it right now. I think this usually ends where CK is in that farm field.
You're right, dude. So often it goes up to the north there. It really does. It goes there so much. And we've actually seen this circle a few times. Again, we haven't seen any Everest circles where it goes up top there yet. I feel like in the NA versus EU Showdown so far. But curious to see what happens with this one. It could pop back. Yeah, who knows? And still, Stento, have we seen the city finish yet? Not really. We almost got one with Valle Del Mar, and then it pulled right off. I swear, I feel like they've gotten rid of them or really lowered the amount that they happen, because you used to just get some of those great city finishes like Los Leones or even in Pachinki. You just don't see them anymore. But I'll keep hoping for one eventually. Couple teams a little close. When I was when you were talking there, I was flying around the map. I saw a lot of bullets kind of soaring through the sky. So people were trying to get some shots down on some teams flying in. But we saw one knock happen on 187Z. But that was about it. I think everyone's back up. We're at 64 players. No one on the military base. Main Gaming is probably our southernmost team there, with TLL and TXC as well. Toxic.
Yeah, I was taking a look in the school area, and I was trying to figure out who barged their way in there. Eno took school from the Dub Hub, who usually sends 2 over there to kind of get their loot.
Good call.
So Eno has kind of barged in there, and I think that was partially due to the awkward plane path that we saw. So we might see some action out of those 3 teams kind of leaving that area. But this is always just such an interesting zone again, because I just love the fact that water is in the center, kind of dividing it into like a north and south part of zone. It's looking like we're heading to the north, but we really aren't sure yet. First knock on the kill feed is out there, Blitz. We're seeing some trades go down.
Trade come in.
This is over in Gadka, ladies and gentlemen. And
yeah, so
I'm not sure we're going to see any reses there. Iraq is thirsted out. Whizbang is just about thirsted out as well. 2 more members in this compound, 1 for each team. Naptime and Muerte here.
Yeah, elsewhere, they're fighting at the other compound. Shadow's pulling up right now. I was actually pulled in here, so we saw these knocks happen live. One of the members of the team was kind of flanking around the outside. Muerte shoots off the vehicle a little bit here. Naptime is just across the way. Shadow looks like he was going for maybe a drive-by. Now he's pulled up at the compound. Nap time's on the second floor. That building's hard to push, though. It's got the roof. T-Lock with the smoke grenade. Trying to make his way over here. Smoke grenade pistol, that is. He might stack this building, go upstairs. I think we're going to start Shadow behind Muerte, clearing the second floor. Trying to get a good peek in there. Good jobs from Shadow there. Really good entry. Doing those initial peeks. Staying with it. They're going to get the flush now. And I think this is the last member, Stento, of PI. Trying to get away. Yeah, T-Lock here. Got all of his tires. He's okay. Down to 50 health. A good tag, though. Could take him out of the vehicle. He's going to live to die another day. But not a great way to have our last game here start off.
Yeah, this is what usually happens. Final match of the day. It used to be, you know, final match of the weekly. Teams are full sending it. But I think we're kind of maybe starting to see that for a couple of these teams. Also looking at this compound dead center zone, we saw Torch pull up onto SI here. SI is 4 deep here. Torch have already lost one member.
SI's all in the same building, Stento.
Yeah, and OH kind of has their cover from on top of the hill a little bit. So it's an interesting fight here because, again, one member for Torch is already gone. Only 2 in this compound versus 4. But OH has some good comms for them across the street. And it looks like several other members from another team. It's RMV potentially joining in on this.
Yeah, RV kind of surrounding the area. Dreams is sending it way past when the other members just come across the bridge. The rest of the members of Torch are actually going to back off and maybe pick up OH here and get out of here, which I think is the right play. I mean, it doesn't look like SI wants to fight that right now. They're 4 deep in a building. And sometimes when a team is playing that tight, it's kind of better just to get away because they're not really giving them much to work with there.
That is such a hotly contested compound, especially for a zone like this, Blitz. We don't know if we're going north or south. And I'm not surprised that we saw several teams kind of push for that. Right now, I'm watching 7 Kings. They're going to lose Prof there. Tacticals takes down the final member of PI. T-Lock is going to go out there. So the 7 Kings losing 2 members here. Linkadox and Prof already gone. So it's just Warhawk and Tacticals, our first place team, in a little bit of trouble here in the final game of the day here. After this game, this will mark the halfway point of our regular season for several of these teams. But it's important to note that not every team on the leaderboard has played the same amount of games. That won't be until the end of the week on Wednesday that we will all be at 15 games per team.
Yeah, and on the back of that, we have a little bit of time here.
20 games per team.
Yeah, 20 games per team, yeah. On the back of that, I want to show the scoreboard. We did just get the update with last match included here. So 7 Kings getting very close to 200 total points. They've kind of gotten a nice gap now from AFI. CK in 3rd place with 122 points. Then a lot of the teams are lower on the 100 side now. Toxic in 4th, Vigorous in 5th. Again, Vigorous not playing tonight as well. Torch in 6th. The Dub Hub moving into 7th with that 2nd place game they had. Abnormal in 8th. Yeah, big game. And Phase 9 in 9th. And again, Crazy Mob moving down the list. They're another team that we're definitely going to be looking for to be in the top 8, but not playing tonight as well. And then just quickly, because we haven't really shown off all the stats today so far, since we have the update, we might as well check out the kills. Zality leading the way for AFI now, followed by Boat, Warhawk, Hobie, and then Quavo. Quavo not playing, so to even have, still be in the top 5 is great for him. And then we'll finish it off with the damage here. Hobie leading the way again. Pixel falling right behind with Warhawk, Tremi, and Zality. 2 members for AFI there on the top list. And we'll get back into the action game 5. We were watching the Dub Hub and watch over 7 Kings, and it looks like they've kind of pushed up on them. Now, I don't even know why the 7 Kings are here. It's such an odd place to be playing this early on in rotation. I'm not seeing too many vehicles. They might be hidden somewhere. Warhawk's got a Vector trying to make it work from down low, but it's a little bit of a good distance. This is so
interesting. I think the 7 Kings just don't care. They want to take a scrap early on. And Warhawk and Tacticals have put the 3-man of the dub hub into a little bit of a pinch here. They already took down one of them. I think Warhawk got the kill. And Tack with some nice 2x M4 spray is going to take down Brody there. I believe Warhawk had put him a little bit of weak, so it just took a few bullets there. Tack is making sure this Church doesn't peek him. He's going to need to go prone. He's just about one shot.
Just laid down in time there.
Tack just not even considering healing Blitz. I would have ripped a heal so long ago, but I just love these top players. They're so confident in their shots that they just, I'm just gonna win if he peeks again, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, how many battles do we see where the person doesn't even get damaged? So it's just a aggressive play from all these guys. But right there, almost getting taken out. That's the risky peak with 24 health left. But here we go, popping into the.
I love that though. And Warhawk starting to get a little bit of a flank going on here. Wabaku takes him down on not on top. Wabaku's on ground level here, but playing kind of the solid rock role for the dub hub right now is Wabaku, just picking up big important kills and getting them deep into game in that Miramar there. So we'll have to keep an eye on Wabaku, who's really starting to get the wheels turning here. They know where Tack is. Albo is considering peeking this way. You just need to be careful when his tacticals on the other end here. And he finds Tack going for the res there. Albos is going to take him down as Wabaku gets the revive onto Brody. So good job by the dub hub picking up those kills onto the 7 Kings. They now have 3 and they're holding strong as a 3-man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they decided they were kind of out in the open there, and why not push? And because there's really nowhere for them to go. But that did not really work out for 7 Kings. And after winning 3 in a row, seeing them fall pretty early, I also just wanted to stop here for a second because AFI crashed this compound. I saw they had a FAMAS in their hands. They lost Zality, but they got the kills here. So they have 4 total kills. They had a FAMAS. They have level 3 gear. I'm not sure if they're still holding that or not, but they got a good compound. This is smack dab in the middle. Yeah, there
My
you go,
team
Hobie.
to watch.
Hobie with the FAMAS. And yeah, they're in a great spot here early on. SI kind of filled their spot. This is where AFI was previously. And then AE, again, a team that has so much potential. We saw them a lot of moments of greatness, I think in week 1, or at least in some of the weeklies, really playing very well, but they've had kind of a quiet day so far. I'm going to quickly check the scoreboard just to see where they're at because I'm just personally curious. Let's take a look at where AE is. You see him on here. Ascension Esports, they're in 16th right now. So definitely not probably where they wanted to be at the end of tonight. Down 2 members as well, but good compound to have.
Yeah, they're in a good spot. They're in a good spot. So we'll keep an eye on them, see if they're able to pick up some kills here. It looks like Console Killer's trying to hold TXC here. This is an interesting fight breaking out. It looks like Boatman is already down.
Yeah, and Onyx trying to make a play here with Triple OG. Took the car over. Pixel, Onyx get pushed. Onyx just naded himself there. Didn't have the gun out. This might also hurt OG a little bit if this nade drops down. Just a little bit of damage, but it's not helping OG's cause here. He's got the whole team in front of him. Needs to reload. Can only pull out the SLR. He's got nothing he can do. Gets stuck on the body as well. They're going up against the car, and that's got to be pretty tough for Toxic because they've been playing up and down today, right? Moments of greatness and then kind of getting stuck like that as well.
Yeah, they did get a revive on the other side. Boat is up, so it's up to Boat and Chummy to make something happen here. They're going to just be looking for these kills. Oh, excuse me. I'm wrong. They're going to actually get into the vehicle and kind of rotate out of this. I'm not sure if that's going to work out for them, but Boat is whipping it. They're gonna be all right here. They're both really weak from that grenade.
Yeah, that was very close. I hit the map here to see the circle because the zone is closing in. And I think that AFI got a flare, so they're getting another care package. They're going to have 2 care package weapons between the 3 of them. AFI already setting themselves up for a potential, back-to-back victory here, which would be really interesting to see the top 2 teams win all of the matches tonight. That would be pretty impressive for them too. Torch.
Yeah, Circle is kind to a couple teams here, AFI and the 187Zs Blitz.
Yeah, absolutely. And even AE here, we're kind of in this triangle. Like, where will the zone go? Will it go left, right, or south? I'm not really sure. I mean, I think there's even a situation where it can kind of center up on itself, but I'm really curious to see where this zone goes. Right now, I'm kind of tapped in on Torch and RV because they're both in the zone. a lot of teams just kind of screwing themselves over today, Stento. You know, it seems like this round, all the top teams are sitting comfortable in the middle of the map. And then I shouldn't even say all the top teams. There's just a few teams that are sitting comfortable. So many
this
other
is a
teams
perfect
struggling.
zone. Perfect zone for my famous line blitz. It's only phase 3. That river coming out of George Pool is considered a body of water that phase 4 will shift away from. So it can center up on itself for one more zone, and then it's going to pull off of that river at one point.
Yeah, so this is going to be just really tough for the teams that, you know, kind of get stuck on the opposite side. I think SI is probably going to commit to this area. MG's got to figure out what they're going to do. Will they kind of play the water here? Potentially, and play this ridge line? I'd be pretty curious to where they end up here. CK making their way into zone as well. Torch trying to drive in.
Yeah, a couple of different power spots I want to point out as we are looking at the map here. Definitely, again, the 187Zs here playing this compound and this ridge. A very nice little split for them. AFI is only a 3-man, but we saw their compound. They've got some heavy artillery in the form of a couple packages. Again, there's a really nice ridge that CK is working their way down here. We're catching a couple of Torch members sneaking into a decent compound here to have as a broken squad. I'm not sure if that's 2 or 3 members, but they're going to be happy with that location as a broken squad. Taking Wiz alone here. Oh my goodness, that thought that was an enemy there. That just freaked me out, Blitz. Woo!
Just them hiding in the shack there.
Yeah, that's just a teammate. Everyone relax.
Yeah, I think preferably here, I would want to be 187Z or AFI. This ridge with the building combo is just so strong. You get such a good oversight here of anybody coming in from behind, potentially TXC, the last 2 members that are coming from the rear. You get a really good sight line of them, Team 16 as well. And then really AFI is always great because this is a hard compound to push. And if you keep the vehicles, you could always crash this ridge. The only thing that's tough here is you don't want to be on this ridge too early because you're going to get pretty much third party from every angle.
Just angled out. Yeah.
But this could be a big factor here in the next few zones. This ridge, whatever team kind of dives here and takes it. Much different pacing on the final game here. People definitely seem to maybe send it a little earlier here and end the night. And MG getting shots in SI. I'm going to tap into them, and the circle just went north. So now main gaming needs to be quick here, Stento, because they need these kills and need to move on from here. They have 50 seconds until the zone's going to start moving.
Yeah, working their way off of edge here. They do catch Panda out. Unfortunate for SI. Kitty Meow is going to regroup with the rest of the squad on the edge of crates here. They're actually going to use a nice warehouse, and it looks like MG is going to use this ridge. Working their way down. Did they grab a package as well? Did Celebrity just find a nice little pack? It looks like it was already looted. Was that from Acid Burn?
I think
no, someone else grabbed this.
I think
actually.
Hobie got this one from AFI originally when they were in this location.
Well, really good plays from Acid Burn to get across the water.
SI, we just caught the end of SI trying to drive towards the bridge and getting wiped out by AE. That was 3 members getting ripped out of the car. Labrai kind of as the car came to a slow there, getting taken out. Unfortunate for them.
Unfortunate for sure. We're down to our final 11 teams here with 30 players alive. So this, again, really whittled itself down pretty quickly here. Another shift has pulled to the north. As we said, this has to eventually pull off of this river after or during phase 4. Looks like we're going to the north. So a lot of teams still kind of around the riverside. I think we're going to see a big fight kind of break out here between RMV and the Dub Hub here. Jumar going for a quick drink. Got to boost up before this fight here. Wabaku has been kind of leading the way.
This is a big flank for him. He catches Soulless down. Takes a little while to lock on. Finally knocks him though. Might want to get that flush because some shots are coming in from the backside, but he's trying to help his team. Circle's also coming in here. They're not in.
Yeah, this fight needs to end sooner than later for both of these squads. Jumar is just in the shack now. I'm not sure who is picking up those kills. It's actually the 187Zs. You mentioned it. They got to get those thirsts, but the 187Zs capitalizing here. And they're going to actually push into the shack there. Albos is going to take down the final member. His teammates already rotating towards the Harry Potter and towards the bridge. A couple Bloodhound members are going to be waiting for them there. Shadow already pushing into the water and pushing his way across. So this is going to be another interesting fight here. This river still being in play is just so interesting. And Brody opens things up with a nice knock onto Muerte there. Now the rest of this team is a little bit kind of spread here, but some great shots from Brody long range, going to put that member of BH weak. But Albos and the rest of the squad starting to push their way to zone as Blue is arriving on the backside here.
Yeah, Brody's not in. He's going to have to move in, taking a little bit of damage. Good DMR shots, kind of slow and steady from the dub hub. Excuse me, Shadow made his way across there. Wabaku spotted him. Shadow just right below here. Gets knocked from watches from A and E, kind of giving Wabaku some time there. And Shadow nades himself, drops the nade. Fabank is stuck on this side of the riverbank with Kathy. Doesn't notice that Fabank's over there. We tapped in Kathy. Goes down. AE's on the other watches on their side. He's not going to be able to go back there, Stento. It's not going to be worth it. Meanwhile, let's take a look at this zone. What's happening here? CK continuing to move down. MG continuing to be on the outside of the zone. They might try to go in on the water behind watches here. Eventually, they could get caught out by AFI potentially. The last member.
There's some heavy shots being laid down onto the final member of BH over there. It was a little bit of a combo spread there, and actually Bad Apple picks up that kill onto Kathy. It was that member of BH that got that knock there. Final member of TXC is going to go out to Bazaar, and this is all shaping up really quickly here. Final 8 teams down to our last 21 players as we approach the 21-minute mark here. We got a solo in watches by the bridge here, and MG is just a 4-man storming their way across the riverbank here.
Yeah, let's tap in. Dub Hub heading this way towards watches. So is MG behind them. We're going to quickly go to Dub Hub first. Wabaku with the AK. Trying to get all the points they can. They have 7 kills here, Stento. Not bad. And they lost a few getting stolen. They need all the points they can get. Last match of the day right now. 8 teams alive. 21 minutes in. 21 players alive. MG's coming quickly behind AE, though. So this is not going to be good.
Oh, my God. Okay, Dub Hub actually picks up that kill. It's Wabaku, as it often is. Ernster steps over the top and drops Brody in timely fashion there. Acid Burn is there for the thirst, so Dub Hub need to be careful here because it's only a 2-man, and they're dealing with a 4-man of MG on this coast, and also a little bit of pressure from AFI, some nades. They're starting to push out from the compound, and Hobie
big nade
with an
onto
absolute
Acid
dime onto
Burn.
Acid Burn.
This is what I worried, is that main game would get too bunched up, and Hobie might try to follow in their footsteps and come from the rear
I
here.
love this flank.
Enemies
Let me get
also
in his
going up top.
perspective.
Check this out. Love this view. Hobie's coming from behind. We're going to tap in. He's got the FAMAS. This could be really big. 5 points for them. They're looking to get some more kills and solidify their situation. Catches Celebrity with that FAMAS. Quick reload here. Now main gaming knows there's trouble from behind. Enemy also getting behind the Dub Hub.
Yeah,
No more
someone's gonna
lethals,
need
though.
to step up here. The rest of Affinity is stepping up at the perfect time. Enemy drops Albos with the thirst, and Wabaku now pushed back towards that shack. Hobie is looking for the rest of MG here, and he's just got such a nice spot here as MG is just kind of reduced to this shoreline here. It's just Ernster down low on the low side in AFI. I called it, Blitz. This was my team to watch. 9 big kills already as we're shaping up for the final game. Circle here. Ernster holding strong there. Almost gets Hobie, but it's actually light with a little bit of cover fire for his Affinity teammate Hobie there. And they pick up 11 kills in the total now. And they've got a decent ridge. We talked about this. A good ridge to work with for the rest of the zone. And we're down to our final 5 teams. This is all shaping up so quickly, Blitz.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of saw that happening with AFI potentially. That main game was going to kind of go down there and create that problem. But enough of that, really. We got CK and 187. The action continues on. What happened to the 187 squad? Are they just down to 2? We must have missed losing them another member of the team. Legend on the backside here, but all of CK's on this ridge. Insane with a big knock to start this off against Bazaar.
He's got plenty of health here. He's got plenty of health. His vest is ripped off, however, but he's going to try a couple of stuns here. He's going to need a little bit of help from Legend here. He's in such a good spot, and he's playing such a thorn in the side of CK. I want him to challenge a little bit sooner. Legend needs to step up and help a little bit more, but Insane is going to try to work his way through the smoke. and find his knock here. He hasn't found anything yet, Blitz, but I'm not sure the rest of CK is going to notice him sneaking through this way. He can't find anything. That smoke is thick out there, ladies and gentlemen, a little bit thicker than it is for us in the spectating view. So Insane isn't going to pick anything up there. That res is going to happen. So CK back up to 4 strong. Insane's going to decide that he needs to kind of retract back down the hill, and that he's going to pay for. Turbot got a different angle. He's got the barrel and puts him down quickly. I would have liked to see a little bit more aggression out of 187Z there. Unfortunately, they were just a 2-man there. And Legend has arrived on that other side. They're picking up a kill onto Ranger Jr. So AFI is peeking around, trying to figure out what they see. And there you go, a solo 4 Toxic Lady Laser is going to go out in 5th place. We have our final 4 teams here: a 4-man for CK, a 3-man for AFI, a 2-man for the 187Z's, a nade from Turbot. Is it going to land here? The res has come off, but a nice nade from Turbot. Going to take him down. And can he get the cleanup here? They want to get this done with sooner than later, so AFI doesn't posture up on them too much blitz, and they do just that. Pixel with a nade takes down Legend. So CK already getting pushed by.
Already got so close here with the FAMAS.
A good play. This is just such a good play to get close onto this ridge, giving them such a restricted amount of zone.
Yeah, because this is a pretty long ridge for CK. Now they're already focused up like on the DMR shots from Lights, and you know they have no idea that Hobie's over there. AFI just needs to worry about the one last member.
Hobie.
And Hobie pulls
with a quick
up.
peek onto Bazaar.
Yeah, I thought he would
on
maybe.
the rock.
I thought he was gonna kind of hide out a little bit longer. Santos, who's giving up his spot, he could get simultaneously pushed. He's got to hope that his teammates are there to cover. Enemy's got to heal. So does Hobie. Probably be pretty smart for him to start laying down some smokes to cover his side here. He's got 11
of them. He's going to meet Turbot here soon on the low side. He doesn't see him at all. Turbot with another good flank. Absolutely smoked Hobie from the side. He never saw it coming. Turbot continuing to be an X factor for this console killers in this event, Blitz. He's always got the good flanks covering for his team while they're rezzing. And now it's going to be a tall order for Enemy and Light, the 2-man of AFI. And they need to make sure they're keeping an eye on the solo. That's going to be Tick in the shack over here, who has to move in pretty soon here. Enemy's pushed up with a Groza, though. So he does have a good gun. And Light watching over the top, playing that anchor role with the 8X SLR. So this is definitely CK's game to lose here. AFI is a team that can get it done, though.
Yeah, they might get distracted by that car of Tick. Enemy finds Bazaar in the perfect spot. This Groza can just make so many things happen, and it feels so good to have it in your hands. Easy double kill. I mean, if you're going to squad wipe a team, the Groza, to me, is still my #1 gun. It's just so strong and so steady to shoot, but that Thirst is going to come back to hurt him there because he wasn't ready for the shots. Light almost going down. Great reaction to pop off that spray. And I guess ultimately, Sento, AFI just overextended a little bit here. But then again, CK just played it really, really well. And we talked about it to start the broadcast that I think they won maybe the first game of the NA versus EU showdown. And now they're going to be winning this last one with Turbot. And they've been playing a lot better with him. So definitely a strong X factor for their team.
We're going to see a little bit of a one-on-one on this side of zone here. Actually, Light ended up pushing away from that. So we're going to need to see something spectacular. He's going to deny the kill point
going
here.
into the kill point.
Yeah, a little anticlimactic end, but it was a great game for CK and AFI respectively. And you're going to see a 13 kill chicken dinner come down for the console killers. They were up there in the top to start this event. They came out really hot in day one. They cooled off a little bit, but here you go, picking right back up where they left off with a 13 kill chicken dinner. And our Monday of week 2 here, Blitz, AFI had some big kills there as well. It looks like 12 and the second place in rounding out our top 3 is Torch. 0 kills though.
Oh yeah, they lost 2 members early. So yeah, I can't believe they ended up with 0 kills there, and then 187Z in 4th and TLL in 5th. So 187Z, they finished in 4th, I think the match before this on Miramar, and they were able to get that 5th place. So hopefully they're getting some more points. We could briefly check the scoreboard quickly here. It's not going to have that last game. It's not going to update for a little while. And it can be hard to look at this for NA because we have all 24 teams in the mix, but just a few people to look at here. The 187Zs, they made it into 13th place, still outside of the top 8. Seven Kings now very close. I don't know if they're going to hit 200 because they were actually one of the first teams out, but they have a very comfortable lead. AFI is going to be pretty close there as well. And CK's got to be happy because they dropped down kind of far into third, but they want to keep their lead from the rest of the pack, Stento. And yeah, anything else you want to potentially comment about the game? Say a lot of good action. Anything from the last game? A little bit different than what we saw before.
Yeah, kind of an anticlimactic end to what was an insane day of games for the North American section here. It started out hot, obviously, for Seven Kings, but then we saw a lot of other teams and players come alive. So we're going to be right back here tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern for the EU section, 8 p.m. Eastern for NA. So there's just so much more PUBG to be played. We're kind of approaching the halfway mark for both regions. EU is actually officially halfway done. NA is some teams are halfway, some aren't. So there's so much more PUBG to be played. And again, top 4 for each region are going to take home some money for the qualifiers, and top 8 for EU, top 9 for NA are all going to go on to the finals, which is in another couple weeks. So just a ton more PUBG to be played here, Blitz. Just a massive shout out to all the players and teams, a massive shout out to everyone watching, and a massive shout out to everyone helping on our main gaming team behind the scenes. We're really lucky to be part of such an awesome team. So a big shout out to everybody, and that's it for me, man. I'm excited to get back to it tomorrow, and hopefully we'll see you guys all there at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, for sure. So basically we'll be here from 3 p.m. all the way until now at around 11:30. We have an hour and a half break from in the middle from 6:30 to 8, but we'll be doing EU, then back to NA. And that's going to be awesome because then tomorrow we will finish up the second week of EU. So we'll see where all those teams are going to kind of end up going into the final week. So make sure you guys stick around for that. And we'll catch you all tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. See you then. Adios, y'all. Peace.
Bye.